Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kamen Rider fans all over. Welcome back. Thank you for inviting us into your homes again for episode 5 of Longtime Watcher, First Time Rider. As always, I'm your longtime watcher, King Fats from 95th, and I am joined, as always, by my wonderful, wonderful first-time writers, Action Shakespeare.
Hello.
B-Drops.
Hello.
And the Magical Whale Gopher.
Hello.
Now, we are going to be shaking things up a little bit for this episode. We hope that you do not mind. Yeah, I know, it's exciting. This go around, in an effort to not, record a podcast that is 4 hours long, we will only be tackling 2 episodes. Luckily, they are 2 conjoined episodes. But before, of course, we tackle into those 2 episodes, which are going to be the 2 Sabotegron. Ooh. Sabotegron. Oh, it's a Sabotegron.
Hey.
Hey.
Is that his name?
Yeah, that's his name. That's the Japanese.
Like something.
It's Sabotegron, because the Japanese word for cactus is like sabo something. So yeah, he's Sabotegron. But first, we need to not sabotage this podcast got there with the kill count from B-Drops.
Thank you. So we have, as we spoke about last time, a few times over the last recording, the actor portraying Takeshi Hongo has sort of been starting to take his leave due to injury. So Kamen Rider and Takeshi Hongo have sort of not been present too much these next 3 episodes. So for the first 2 episodes of this last set, Hongo only got 1 kill each, just the big bad, while Shocker got a pretty steady amount. But then, boss rush, Hongo comes in and instantly closes the gap. So, we've got a total of 13 kills on Kamen Rider's side for these past 3 episodes. We've got a total...
Wouldn't it be...
Yes?
Was it 13 or 15?
It was 13.
Was it only 11 kills for the Lizard Lawn episode?
Okay. The boss rush was 11 people, yeah.
All right.
Yes. I did explicitly count them all out. If we ever do make the sheet public, it does list them all separately.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I don't know why my brain thought Lizard Lawn's big army was 13 people big.
I mean, it is the big evil number, I understand.
It is.
It was the Daikaiju army.
It was an impressive force, or at least it should have been. Hongo's just too powerful.
Yeah.
And then Shocker comes in with a total of 10 kills. And amazingly enough, we had to make a new category for these last 3 episodes. So we had a kill from a third party, a Dr. Shirakawa, who used his death ray on Yamogeras for the big bad kill of that episode. So we now have a miscellaneous kill count. So we have 1 kill, Team Miscellaneous. That leaves us with our totals of... And this kind of really surprised me. I think it lined up really well.
Okay.
Kamen Rider, 52.
Jeez.
Oh, God.
Shocker, 52.
Really?
Whoa.
Nice and tied up.
That's so wonderful.
Miscellaneous, 1. So that leads the total death count for these first 13 episodes at 95 total deaths.
Wow.
I would like to note that during episode 12, there is a scene in which Dr. Shirakawa jerks the death ray away from Yamogeras when he tries to fire it at Kamen Rider, and it hits some sort of factory facility. And we have no clue how many people were in there, if any, so
we're not counting
it's
it.
noted there, but it's not counted.
Maybe a lot of more kills.
Maybe a lot.
Maybe Dr. Shirakawa is a mass murderer. We'll never know.
I mean, at this
Also,
point, probably.
I will say that count is 105.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were like 52 and
52.
1, 95, and I was like, wait a
Oh,
minute.
yes, sorry.
I'm bad at math, but
that's
hold
my
on.
bad. I think I forgot to add something there.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
That's
lot.
a lot of people. We officially broke the 100
Yeah.
just before this next set of episodes.
Right. I like how cleanly it's wrapped up with a tie game as we enter the new era.
Yeah.
I want to believe that's on purpose for the people who made it. They were doing the same thing.
They figured out how many deaths Hongo did episode 1, and they were like, "Whoa, shit! Hey, hold on."
They don't care about narrative coherence, but they do care about how many people are dying on each side, and I can respect that priority.
I can
Yeah.
too, honestly. Wow, so 100, yeah, nice and even. I like it. I am amazed that we are at over 100 kills 13 episodes in.
It's pretty impressive.
I mean, it's...
And I had honestly thought most of it would be from just like Shocker killing a bunch of innocent people,
Right,
but
yeah.
that's really not the case.
I think that is the most surprising thing, is that at the end of the ball game here, as we go into the second quarter, I know those two analogies don't quite line up, but work with me here.
Sports ball.
We are tied. We're tied up between Hongo and Shocker, 52-52, going into the second half.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty. Like, I almost wondered if it was super intentional too. Like, it seemed too beautiful to be true.
Yeah. I kind of get what you mean.
They're a symphony.
All things in
A
balance.
sympathy of Nazi murder.
It I don't know, it really just further drives home the idea that these two forces, Kamen Rider and Shocker, are equally opposed, and the battle still rages on, and we still don't know who will win in the end.
It's like they're truly two sides of the same coin.
we are very much alike, you and I.
Yeah. Except for you guys are Nazis and I'm expressly anti-Nazis.
We do big murder.
Yeah, but we're both
For
huge
different
murderers.
reasons.
Both do big murder, it's true.
We're kind of like at a pace where I would not be surprised if we broke 1,000.
I hope we do.
By the end of the series.
Oh, for sure.
Easily, yes.
The road to 1,000 kills.
Yeah. Let's...
Just before we move on from the kill count, I'm just thinking, Kamen Rider has been going on for 50 years at this point.
I don't even want to
How many
fathom.
have died?
I don't even want to fathom, because you guys got to understand. There will come a point in Kamen Rider where there's gonna start to be evil Kamen Riders.
Oh.
The kill counts are gonna go insane.
I'm so excited
It
for
sounds
that in
like
5 years.
How do I keep track of the Kamen Rider kills versus the Shocker kills versus the evil Kamen Rider kills?
Well,
like
even
that.
especially
Do they
because
count as-
Shocker will like go away for a bit, but then they might come back.
Oh,
There will be other seasons where Shocker isn't the bad guy, but they show up for like a summer movie.
You know what? At that point, we'll just... The
We're just gonna have
podcast...
to break it into good guys and bad guys.
No, the podcast will be successful enough that we can pay someone to do a full, comprehensive kill count of each
Yep.
episode.
pay me.
We could.
Sincerely,
I
though,
probably
I actually am. I'm actually pretty invested in finding out which Kamen Rider has the highest kill count.
Yeah.
I would love to know which Kamen Rider has the highest kill count.
I think for this series, or season, well, I guess both, technically, but, I feel like it's gonna be V2, just for the sake of how much absence, Hongo will have in the next,
Yeah.
like,
But
Hongo's got a good head start, though.
Yeah,
He
Hongo's
got
got
a
a
good
good
head start,
I
but
mean, he
that's-
did 52 in 13 episodes.
yeah, but also, given what we've seen so far,
Yeah, I mean, the dude...
It's-
But he hasn't...
he's-
Here's the thing,
he's
he
not
didn't
making
commit quite nearly as many murders.
he's making up for lost time.
I don't
Well-
know. I think you're forgetting a very large count in one episode alone.
Oh,
so-
true. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair.
We'll have to see, though. I mean, maybe our new Kamen Rider will give Hongo a run for his money, or maybe they'll just become a tour de force of fascist bloodlust the moment they team
So
up.
wonderful.
I can't imagine
I, for
what's...
one, am excited for that.
Imagine,
Yeah,
imagine
the Earth will be painted red.
Hongo comes back, the kill count's double for the side of the Riders.
Just like, damn.
I think he'd be proud.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
I
be
know he
proud.
would be. I mean, we know. We know he would be just because of what we learned about why he's gone story-wise in this episode. Which, I guess that will be a good segue for us to get into it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So another thing that we will be trying here, and hopefully this will be successful, is since we couldn't count on the wiki to provide us with plots,
Failed us.
we have decided to go ahead and try to just make a little plot synopsis of our own very quickly. So I've gone ahead and drafted something up, and we are going to go ahead and get into it, starting with episode 14. This is another one of those ones that's got two different translated names, depending on how you're going with it. So the American translation... The English translation is the devilish Cactogron attacks, but the Japanese name translated is Raid of the Demon Sabotegron. It is the 14th episode of the original Kamen Rider series. It aired July 3rd, 1971.
God bless America.
God bless America. Well, we'll read some of the notes here because this is some important information pertinent both to the episode and to the show here. The wiki tells us it introduces Hayato Ichimonji, who will star for the remainder of the series' first year as Kamen Rider 2, having used a combination of reused footage and a voice actor for the previous 3 episodes to fill in for Hiroshi Fujiwaka's absence following the motorcycle stunt accident, which forced him to leave the show, which we mentioned. Takeshi Sasaki, that is the name of the person who plays Hayato, was brought in to replace him in the lead. The explanation in the show being, we'll get into it right now then. The explanation in the show being that Takeshi left to fight. I don't remember them specifying this specifically, but I guess maybe they get into this in another episode. The explanation is being that Takeshi left to fight Shocker in Europe with Rukyo, leaving the protection of Japan to Hayato, the second Kamen Rider cyborg created by Shocker, who was rescued by Takeshi off-screen. As well as a new lead, several new allies are introduced along with a change of base as Toei Tachibana moved from Snack Amigo to the Tachibana Racing Club, which is joined by Mari, Yuri, Michi, and Yuri's younger brother Goro. That's who that kid is.
Thank you for explaining it, synopsis,
Yeah.
because we fucking didn't know.
I mean, this isn't even really the synopsis. This is just kind of like, here's some facts about the episode.
Fun fact. Thank you, fun fact.
This episode is also notable for introducing the iconic look of the Shocker combatants brought by the titular Shocker monster from Mexico. Instead of wearing berets and face paint, the combat men now wear masks similar to Lucha Libre fighters with an insignia on their forehead. The synopsis reads, Takeshi leaves Japan to pursue Shocker plots in other countries. Meanwhile, Cactogoron, or Sabotegron, a cactus monster who is the head of Shocker's Mexican base, is brought to Japan to try and improve its success rate, and Kazuya and Tobe find their investigations into Cactogoron's plans interfered with by a mysterious man.
Can I stop you right there for 1 second?
Hit me with it.
Because we have to acknowledge we have a new open.
Yes.
We do.
It's a new era.
Yeah, it's a new era. We have not changed songs, but we have unfortunately changed singers. I believe we brought this up briefly in a previous episode, but just in case we didn't, it is mentioned at one point that Fujiwaka is actually the person who sang the original Kamen Rider opening as well, and I guess they decided that since he was being replaced in the show, they would replace the singer of the opening as well. So at least I'm 95% sure it's a new singer. It sounds like a new singer.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Hongo no longer serenades us every time we sit down to watch.
We're gonna have to
Miss him.
We really
gonna
are.
have to make up for that somehow.
Well, I feel like they do make up for it a little bit because we've got this great new opening. We've got some lovely new visuals. with the new suit, which I personally am a very big fan of. You know, some very nice bike stunts. It really is kind of just like a bunch of bike stunt B-roll, except for one specific part.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is fucking choice.
Which I aptly summarized in the most elegant sentence ever penned. Ride up a building.
Yeah. Right up,
He sure did.
right up a building, Kamen Rider.
He
it's
Batman climbs that building with a bike.
I feel like it is also very important to note that this is not them doing like the superimposed green screen Spider-Man run up a wall. This is they had a leftover Ultraman set or something, and they had the prototype of the Kamen Rider V2 toy, and so they drive the toy up the side of the building.
It's so good.
It's fucking great.
Delightful.
And then it is immediately followed with said toy jumping from building to building.
And I think if you
with a little visible string.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that if you look closely, you can see the string reflect from the light.
You can totally see the string.
So lovely.
It's like the scene in Kill Bill where you're watching the plane go by. It's fucking great.
And
but I mean, jokes aside, legitimately a very cool new opening. You know, lots of great B-roll footage. I feel like, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the quality of the footage has gone up ever so slightly. Did anyone else?
No,
say
I feel the same.
it could just be the increased production value, but I think that's for the most part true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like things, especially in the opening, for sure, things just seem to look a little bit nicer.
Another thing about the opening, which if people listening had not found on their watches, you're gonna every single time now, is that there is a small strand of hair on the projector.
Oh, God.
For the entire thing.
Is there really?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
I guess I hadn't
something about
noticed.
that film just has a hair, and since they have to reuse that footage for the tape every time, it always has that hair.
You will be forever cursed with hair.
Pretty much.
Fun.
Just a true classic.
Just a little flavor, just a little.
You know, it wouldn't be
Get some grit.
it wouldn't be an old Toku show from the 70s if there wasn't just a little bit of jank sprinkled in.
Of course, it's wonderful.
Have some. Have a little jank.
Have some.
Have some.
That said, Gopher mentioned it, the production overall is getting increasingly higher quality, like noticeably so. Like, to the point where I thought I saw gaffes, but I was mistaken. I was expecting to see Mike's in the shot and was proven a fool. They are up in their game at every turn.
Yeah, they are making that money, and they are using it to improve the show, and I appreciate that.
Another thing that they're doing is not only are the quality of effects improving, such as, like, there was a scene with, some flooding in it, where they blew up a dam, and like that was legitimate minis that they used, and it was very nice to see just how that, like, they constructed that set, and they just actually did it with practicals and minis.
Yeah, I noticed they started like these two episodes specifically, but even also just like kind of recently going forward, they start using that a lot more.
And to continue on with this, they're also just using more of these props. Way back with the Spider-Man, there is the silly string spider tracker kind of thing, and there was one of those, and they were not up to the quality that the generic props are now. And the props that we have now are in far greater numbers. Like, there is a massive amount of cacti within these two episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, this episode
do
is
not worry.
chock-a-block full of cactus.
Absolutely chock full. Our titular character does not leave you wanting for any reminder of the branding. He is so on point, and I love it.
He lives the gimmick so
really
hard.
does.
Get it?
On point.
I'm sorry.
Your wit is as sharp as ever.
It's like a smooth rock.
Oh, like a cactus.
Tell me, do you like
Like a
cactuses?
cactus that we need to just touch.
God, touch the
God,
cactus.
yeah.
Let me just slam my hand
got
on
it.
this cactus,
Let me-
baby. Yo.
Maybe, actually.
Hey, I was gonna say let's refrain from
Yes.
making jokes about the episode until we start talking about it.
Well, we can't have too much order, then it wouldn't be this podcast anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So that being said, we'll go ahead and start it off with episode 14, Raid of the Demon Sabotegron. So again, this is just a synopsis that I wrote. So if you don't like the way that it flows or sounds, you write me one then.
Or,
Please?
Please.
Please.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean. I'm so sorry.
alternatively, let us know, because we can't improve on things as much if you don't tell us that they should be improved on.
Yeah, also, just legitimately, I mean, if it's not great, I apologize, let us know. I had to clear out, the entire synopsis of 2 episodes in 30 minutes. I did the best that I could. It doesn't help that I'm kind of tired today.
Oh,
I didn't do a ton of sleep.
Oh.
what do you mean
Oh,
going to
no.
sleep at 5 a.m. is difficult?
Yeah, no, what? Going to bed at 5 and waking up at 9 is a bad idea?
I
Who
can't
would've
believe
thought?
it.
Please comment below. King Fats, go to
I
sleep.
do normally.
Anyways.
Comment, B-drops, go to sleep.
Yeah, you go to
I
sleep, motherfucker.
I twied!
I went to sleep. Anyway, we have a synopsis.
Shut up.
Yes, anyways. What happens next?
Alright, the episode opens on Shocker, Mexico, destroying a dam, and Sabotegron explaining Shocker's victory in Mexico. I mean, this is just a pretty simple scene, although it has some of that great prop effects work that Gopher was talking about. It's just kind of a shot of a dam being busted open by this green liquid, and it just kind of flooding out and destroying an
Full of
area.
the green goo. Is that just supposed to be Mexican water?
I don't know.
I don't know if that was just supposed to be normal water, but it was foreign.
Did they mean it to look contaminated? Because it looks...
Yeah, it looks. I kind of assumed that was just a thing. It was just part
full
of
ecto-cooler.
Sabotegron's plan, but yeah, they don't really explain it, huh?
It might have been, for a practical reason of maybe the camera doesn't pick up normal water just very well. But it looks, if you've ever painted a lot, and got a lot of paint, more than you should amount of paint in your water, it looks like that.
Yeah.
It's a solid 60% paint in
Yeah.
there.
You've been painting for
Makes for
3
a great
hours. You
effect,
haven't...
good visual, but
I mean, it's
very,
wonderful. I love to see it.
very weird.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
weird choice in hindsight.
But why
Because-
is Shocker putting paint in Mexico's water supply?
So he
They're
can
evil.
conquer 90% of it.
Yeah.
Wait, I've got it. So, what is a cactus? That's right, a cactus is green, so is the water. They were coloring it because it's cactus.
I don't.
It's brand.
I don't
Cactus
appreciate
juice.
you saying this as a joke, because that was my legitimate thought. Watching the episode at the time, I was like, I guess he must have done some cactus shit to the water, and it am green now.
I say it as a
Did it with that cactus juice.
I say it as a joke, but what other explanations are there? That's
mean,
my
we
best
got- we
one
don't-
that I
they
actually
give us-
have, but it's also
They
very
give us
funny.
legit nothing.
Some people leave calling cards. This man leaves green bottles of water and green sewage everywhere.
And
Well, he doesn't
cacti, but
even
we'll
do
get to that.
He just mails you. He just mails you a cactus. So yeah, so they destroy the dam. Sabotegron is gloating about how they're going to take over Mexico, and so the Fasci statue says, "Sabotegron, you've been doing some good work here in Mexico. Here at Shocker Mexico LLC." Because apparently Shocker
branch.
has multiple international branches.
The
They mentioned this previously.
One of my
We've
favorite-
just never seen them.
I mean,
One of
they
my-
have, but it's still really fucking silly.
One of my favorite things about the Fasci statue in this episode, though, was that it was the statue that we normally see, and then just like the Mexican flag under it.
Yep.
Just so you know.
It's so you know. Because
But
it's the Mexico branch.
But it's like they don't do that for the Japanese branch, so it's just like, well,
They never have time to set it up.
Yeah.
Hongo's too busy
There's
beating
no
him.
Kamen Rider in Mexico to fuck up their base.
Yeah, exactly.
Hongo keeps taking it down.
But so yeah, because Sabotegron's been doing such a good job in Shocker, Mexico, he's getting a management position in a lateral move. And they're going to be sending him to the Japan branch so they can kind of get their act together. And so we cut briefly to a picture of a Pan Am flight. And then we get to Taki, who is getting a message from the FBI that a fellow FBI agent has boarded the flight, and he is going to be going to Japan to talk with Taki about the fact that Sabotegron from Shocker, Mexico, has been relocated and will be coming to Japan. I don't know how they know this, but they do.
They got eyes, I guess. You know, the FBI is clearly in on the Shocker rack. Not like in on it, but like
They clearly
they
are
have
aware.
their own force mobilized to try again fight Shocker, but they're clearly not doing super hot.
What was
Which is why we need Kamen Riders.
What was the name of that fucking... Oh, Masked Michael, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, FBI's working with Masked Michael to try and deal with
Masked
Shocker
Miguel
America.
down
Yeah,
in Mexico.
And anyway, so Taki takes a message that an FBI agent is going to be boarding a flight into Japan, and that the Sabotegron is coming, and, you know, obviously that FBI agent is going to help with that situation. And so then we cut to one of the plot points that was referenced earlier in the wiki. It's the grand opening of the Tachibana Motorcycle Club. Hooray! Everybody clap.
Or don't, because that'll confuse words.
Yeah, that's clap lightly.
Only my recording. Everybody at home clap.
Yeah, clap at home. We'll hear you. We'll hear you.
We'll believe.
I feel it in my heart.
Don't worry.
I feel
Just
it.
like I feel Kamen Rider.
The energy of the cosmos. Kamen Rider is returning.
I feel it. I feel the cosmos.
Anyway, I'm going to feel the grand opening of Tachibana's Motorcycle Club.
You know what
It's
I
very
wasn't
nice.
feeling? I
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense than the previous business.
Yeah.
It makes more
And
sense.
Shiro's still here.
But I wasn't feeling it as much as Snack Amigo. I've grown fond of that little stupid place.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? It's like once
With
you've
the-
hung out for so
Pink
many
duck.
summers next to an old person, it feels weird to say goodbye to hanging out next to this old person.
What?
That's a Teen Girl Squad reference for you. See, Tachibana's become friends with an older girl which has her learner's permit.
I like video games.
I don't know, miss her. I don't know, miss video games.
So
But but overall, yeah, the new Tachibana business was very much more
Just
fitting.
the right move. Yeah. The interesting thing about it is, based off of the way the building looks, at least on the outside, I think it is actually the Snack Amigo building. And they
makes
just
sense.
decorated it.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like it.
maybe he owns that land in universe, and so he
Yeah.
just redecorated.
He just,
I mean, to be fair,
maybe
he
Snack
lives
Amigo
there.
was not getting business.
Well,
I think we talked about how Snack Amigo didn't have customers.
Oh, we
anyways,
super
so,
did.
Like,
No one.
Like, no one shows up to Snack Amigo for whatever reason.
so maybe he just realized, like, oh shit, I need to do something else with this
maybe
To be
let
building.
me start a
fair-
business in something I actually know how to do, like motorcycle training.
To be fair, the employees are like always gone fighting fascists, so what kind of service is there anyway? Like, Shido is there maybe holding the fort when they're not calling him out to go, like, watch a door and make a phone call,
Yeah.
but, like, Tachibana, always gone.
yeah,
Dudiko,
Tachibana
always
always
gone.
gone.
Dudiko's friends, like, we don't even
Riku's
really
friend
know
doesn't
her
even
name.
actually
She's
work
just
there.
around. Does she? Yeah,
She's a ghost.
she's a phantom.
Well,
A phantom who has stuck around, by the way. We mentioned that Ruriko left with Hongo in that brief overview. But her friend is still here.
And she introduces and she is the one who brings our new set of friends.
Yeah, now you get new NPCs to attach to. So let me go get those names again. We meet, I affectionately referred to them as the Rider Girls. And they are
You know what?
Mari, Yuri, and
It works on
Michi.
multiple levels.
So these are just... We really haven't gotten a lot in the way of plot about these three beyond that they want to join the motorcycle club, and only one of them has any experience riding a motorcycle.
I think Ruriko's friend scouted them.
I
Like,
guess.
she knew them, so she just was like, hey, y'all interested in this new business I think I am attached to?
Yeah. Please
like,
make sure that my employer continues to employ me.
Yeah, like, so here's my crew. We're all gonna roll up on here and just
Finally,
act like we own the
she's
place.
here for you.
Because we need a new place to hang out.
Yeah, we need a new hang after they closed down the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
It's like when all you and your friends want the same job, so you apply at the same time.
Yeah. So, and then one of you gets a management position, so that way nobody can say anything when you all spend half of the shift doing nothing.
People say things when you spend half the shift doing nothing.
It depends on the job you're at.
That was just my normal job.
As someone who has also worked at a restaurant before, sometimes they don't say anything if you spend half the shift doing nothing, because you don't get any work.
Sometimes it be like that.
Anyhow, Mari, Yuri, and Michi are our three Rider Girls, and I'm actually going to go open up their wikis here very quickly, just so I can remember which one is which.
Which one is which?
Yes. Okay. Because Mari is the thirsty one.
Yeah.
Who
Oh, God.
also has some
Doesn't that-
experience as a fencer. She was played
Yes.
by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real shit. Kamen Rider Wiki.
What?
Huh?
Mari was played by Linda Yamamoto.
It happens.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
guess it does.
Reverse sweeps are a thing.
Yeah.
Linda Yamamoto.
Linda Yamamoto.
Or she could be mixed race too. That's a possibility.
Or I guess in the Japanese, Yamamoto Linda. Wow, I just was not expecting
She was
that.
born in Japan.
Yeah. Yuri is our black belt. Yeah, she's a first dan black belt in karate. She was played by Wakako Oki. And then there is Michi, who is the one who actually has any kind of experience riding motorcycles. She has experience on 90cc motorcycles, and she was played by Katsumi Nakajima.
As I pointed out while watching, all three of these girls, we're calling them the Rider Girls because all three of these girls basically make up one Kamen Rider.
Yeah, with their powers combined.
But without the brain.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not to
Or
be
the guts.
rude to these girls. Yeah. I'm not trying to dig on these just normal girls, but yeah, with their powers combined, they have all of the strength of a Kamen Rider minus like the 600 IQ or the bravery or the lust for Nazi blood.
Well, you know what?
One of them has regular lust,
Yeah,
though. She
there's-
almost got there.
They got some bloodlust, actually.
Yeah, they got a little bit of bloodlust.
bit. 'Cause
Not enough to overcome the cowardice, though, and I think that's where it counts.
Yeah.
they'll go after a mook just fine.
Yeah. They'll beat up a cyborg
They're
like it's
working
nothing,
their way
but
up.
cactus monsters are a little bit. But that's fair. We can't expect them to do everything.
Just an interesting fact about Wakako Oki is that this was pretty much her only acting role she's
Really?
ever done.
I was thinking about looking into those, so let me...
IMDb page, and it seems that she has only ever done Kamen Rider.
Really? Yeah.
Specifically in the early to mid 70s.
Let me. Yeah,
Hell of a time to be into Kamen Rider for sure.
if I'm at least going based off of, because Kamen Rider's usually good about telling you the stuff that the actors have done outside of Kamen Rider as well. If you go to their, their links on the page. But yeah, all three of these ladies actually, it just says that they played insert character name here in the original Kamen Rider, and there's like nothing else.
Yeah, Linda's got some stuff.
Oh, Linda was a singer.
Yeah, Linda had a singing career and had a few other
Jack and the
roles, but limited.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Kamen Rider is her biggest series.
Linda's still a singer, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, years active, at least according to Wikipedia, years active 1966 to present. Still doing it at 70 years of age. Fuck yeah, Linda. Well, anyway, good for Linda. I apologize. We get distracted by these sorts of things. But I mean, it's
at least
interesting,
this is
right?
relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant to the episode, but two, I think it's interesting.
That too.
I would have never guessed that Linda was a singer, had I not thought to look into it. So yeah, we meet the Rider girls, and then we cut to Taki going and picking up the FBI agent, which is kind of silly.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because Taki is sitting out front of the airport in just the most suspicious Jeep. Although I guess, to be fair, any Jeep that doesn't have a metal top to it and has to use the cloth top kind of automatically looks a little suspicious. But he's hanging out in the Jeep. He's waiting for the guy to come out. The most suspicious dude. Right? I mean...
Coat, hat, sunglasses. Yeah. This man is a spook.
Absolutely, yeah. So the most suspicious possible dude comes out of the airport, starts looking around. Taki pulls out of his breast pocket and flashes his FBI badge, but not like the actual badge, just like the front part that has like the FBI logo on it. And the guy looks at it, nods, and then pulls his own out from his own breast pocket and like shows it to him from
across the way.
Yeah, like across the parking lot. And then he goes and he hops into the hoopty. And they drive off after a little bit of exposition about Sabotegron. I don't remember exactly what is said. I didn't write it down, but it's just kind of some, basic, like we're.
This man is very genuinely white.
Yeah,
this is a white dude, and he is clearly trying to say the lines.
Trying, yeah.
But they absolutely dubbed his voiceover afterwards, so the lip syncing ain't great. There's an effort, but I think for the sake of clarity and like good acting, it doesn't match because the person dubbing it was actually good.
Yeah.
Got the job done though.
Yeah, that's the important thing is we got our exposition lines from our American guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so from there, oh yes, we cut back to the motorcycle clubs. I think you can tell that I was a little bit tired while I was typing through this, because I have this I have this part listed simply as Tachibana does not like the youths.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it is.
But yeah, that's exactly what it is. So
these groovy kids have settled into his shop and have deemed it their cool teen hangout. They are grooving and dancing, and also one of them brought their little brother who was just eating a banana.
Eating a banana.
Pops.
He only eats half of it and gives it to fucking Tachibana to hold.
While he goes and dances. Yeah, so Tachibana is pissed. He's so angry he's smoking vertically up. Which
Pops, don't be such a
didn't understand that bit. I'm sorry, what was that, Gopher?
Don't be such a fuddy-duddy, Pops.
Yes, yeah. Direct quote from the episode.
The translation of these episodes has been great because the youths are here, so
Have
they
some fun with the young
are
people.
instrumenting as much 70s American slang that they can think of.
Yeah, I did appreciate
they're going like groovy and calling people pops and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did appreciate the part where they first go into the motorcycle club and Mari comments on how groovy that place is.
Scooby-Doo gang has settled in.
Yeah, really. So Tachibana is none too thrilled with these whippersnappers and their shenanigans. But he gets a call of sorts from outside in the form of Hongo's bike turning itself on. And so he's like, oh, all right. Well, Hongo's bike has turned itself on. He goes and he takes the tarp off of it, and he sees it's set to autopilot, and he's like, all right, I guess Hongo needs me for something. So, well, here I go. So he hops on the bike, and he gets autopiloted for a bit. And then he makes a really bad decision. he's on.
No, it's a genius.
It's such a bad decision.
You don't like napping on motorcycles?
No,
Why not?
it's dangerous.
It's fine.
It's the most
But it's
dangerous.
autopilot.
I cannot think of any, like, people always talk about how dangerous self-driving cars are, but sleeping on a self-driving motorcycle, are you kidding me?
Look,
Yeah, better catch a nap, says Tachibana, and he just like props himself on the elbow and just starts snoozing.
I think the worst thing about it is, like, the specific quote is something like, well, if this is on autopilot, I guess I can sleep all the way until Hongo as long as I don't fall off. So he recognizes that he needs to, like, be balanced enough to stay on the bike. So don't fall asleep.
it's fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Look,
It's like Hongo himself is carrying him in spirit.
Yeah.
you think we
I
can
trust
start
Hongo.
a conspiracy theory about Kamen Rider where the rest of this season is just Tachibana's like last dream of after he got into a car or a motorcycle accident because he actually fell off?
Yeah, right.
No, it's just his dream while he was riding. He actually makes it
Oh,
perfect.
yeah, he
makes it okay.
The season.
Either
He just shows
one.
up to Hongo's house.
Yeah, and then he and
Hongo
Hongo eat
never-
pizza rolls.
I had the craziest dream that there was 2 Kamen Riders. That's fucked up. Anyways, we gotta go stop Shocker.
It was all a dream. You, Super Nintendo.
If we want to talk conspiracy theories, here's my conspiracy. Tachibana was made shorter somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, Tachibana fucking shrinks.
They like cut off a piece of his legs or something because this dude is short, and we never noticed until this episode.
My man lost his knees in the war,
I'm gonna have to.
I lost
but he
my
shot 50
shoes.
man.
This is my bigger Luke.
I'm.
This is smaller Tachibana.
Oh god, yeah. I mean,
I'm checking things right now.
I don't know. I feel like maybe. Here's the thing that I don't understand about the, like, suddenly shortened Tachibana is it can't be one of those, like, oh, he just looks bigger next to Hongo, because Hongo was significantly taller than him.
Or was he?
Or what? Yeah,
Or was
maybe.
he? Oh
can't
no,
remember
it's been so
anymore.
long.
No! I'm losing
I
him.
feel like Hongo might have been his height.
Maybe that's what it was.
I think they were a similar height, weren't they?
You know what?
Good lord.
Oh my
Was
god.
Hongo a short king?
I love it.
Is Hongo a
Wait,
short
I
king?
think Hongo was a short king.
Oh my god, I'm going. Let's see.
We all
you know,
had
put
to
some
scramble.
respect on our short kings. You know, I think the year of our Lord 2021 is when we should finally say
Short kings
short
rise up.
kings are good.
Yeah.
Short kings rise up.
I've
I
been
just
saying
gotta
that for a
know
long
about
time.
this. Hold on.
Hiroshi Fujioka is 5'11".
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to go
Wait.
find the name of the guy who acts as Tachibana. So, His actor
Okay.
is Akiji Kobayashi.
Okay, he's 5'5".
Akiji?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
But what weirds me out...
That's him. That's him for sure.
What weirds me out is that the person who plays V2 in this is about 3 inches shorter than Hongo.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Than Hongo. Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Well, no, but
He's still taller than...
you'd think you'd look about the same, if not
But
taller.
yeah, he just looks so much shorter.
Why?
Yeah, something about him. I don't know. I think they gave him way less slimming suits or something because, yeah, the dude just looks stocky, especially next to the FBI dude.
Yeah, especially
to be
against
fair,
Taki.
they really they put Taki in those really like 2 sizes too small kind of
Yeah,
clothes.
he's in super
And-
tight clothing.
Like, and I know Shake's commented on this before, but it feels like Tachibana is being shifted into a more comical role.
Yeah, that too.
So I think they're trying to play up that he's a frumpy old man a bit.
That might
He's a
be
little
it.
gray.
Yeah.
He's got a little of the salt and pepper going too. Yeah, so I don't know.
That being said,
It's interesting. It's not super vital. But it's a
incredibly
goofy thing
vital.
in this new era.
yeah. I will go ahead and finish off this tangent just by, again, it's fun to look into these actors sometimes because you learn interesting things about them. Like, for instance, there's a partial filmography here for Akiji Kobayashi, which includes 1991, 1993, and 1996, where he had roles in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, and Gamera 2 Attack of the Legion.
Well, now I want to watch those.
And Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth.
Was he in that one as well?
That's a good resume.
He's playing the same guy in that one.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. So, see, there you go.
Still need to watch more kaiju movies, but that's
Learn something new every day.
neither here nor there.
But this isn't, this
Tachibana's
podcast
actor,
is not
the-
about
the
that.
fucking legend.
But it could be.
It should be.
Someday.
One day. Yeah, okay. So he takes a nap on the motorcycle, and we go ahead and cut back to Taki, who is driving with the FBI agent. And as they're driving, and Taki has some internal monologue where he's like, I don't trust this guy. I know he said he was with the FBI, but something's shady about this dude.
Got a bad feeling about it.
Yeah, I got a bad vibe about this guy. And so, on cue, as if to prove his bad vibe right, the radio's like, hey, cuz, some dude died on the flight that FBI agent was supposed to be coming in on. It's what,
Also,
flight
it was the FBI
602?
agent.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It does just explicitly say that he was an FBI agent. So yeah,
Yes.
the radio fucking narcs immediately. It's like, hey cuz, your FBI agent dead.
Huh?
And
Then he hits him with a cactus hand.
that's the silliest thing. Is I think. So we'll just go ahead and spoil a slight ahead of time here. Sabotegron has disguised himself as the FBI agent, but I think what happens is Taki goes to turn up the radio, and Sabotegron turns it off or something. And Taki's like, hey, why'd you do that? And he goes to try and turn the radio back on, and Sabotegron grabs his wrist, and you see the big stupid cactus glove on his hand, and Taki's like, ow, that hurt. Why'd you do that?
Big ass oven mitts
Yeah.
looking things
Right?
but made to look like they're cactus.
Very silly. But yeah, so Taki, it is revealed to Taki that Sabotegron is actually the FBI agent that he's in the car with. And Sabotegron's like, I'm gonna get you. To which Taki's very amazing response was, your biggest mistake was letting me drive. So he drives the Jeep off a cliff and rolls out.
Fucking power move.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
So good.
Oh, you're gonna kill me? What if I kill you first, motherfucker? I'm the one behind the wheel.
Extremely respectable move.
Very respectable.
And that Jeep, of course.
That Jeep blows
Yeah, it
up.
fucking explodes.
I'm going through the episode again, and I'm watching how they do this, and it's hilarious because they have two cars, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They have the normal Jeep, which does like a small stunt, and as soon as it's going over the ledge, they cut to an already blown up Jeep.
Yep.
And then they blow it up. That's really good. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's very solid. So yes, Taki attempts to blow up Sabotegron in the car, but of course it takes a little bit more than that to kill a cactus monster, I guess. And so Taki and Sabotegron get into a small fight. As they are fighting who should show up but Tachibana on Hongo's bike, and Tachibana, of course, being a ride or die, he sees that Taki is in the thick of it with a shocker fucking minion and is like, alright, let's go help. So it becomes Tachibana and Taki against Sabotegron, who then starts to summon some shocker grunts, some of his special, I guess, Mexican shocker grunts, hence the masks, as was explained earlier, to help resolve the situation. And things are starting to look dire for Taki and Tachibana when who should show up but the Kamen Rider. Except he's not the Kamen Rider, because he looks different. And I don't.
As far as everyone's aware, he is just the Kamen Rider, and they don't really notice.
Yeah, it's very strange that they don't seem to be like, hey, what the shit?
It's the situation's dire. I don't know. This guy's wielding cactus swords and cactus guns and cactus bombs.
Yeah.
You ain't thinking about this shit. You're like, oh god, it's Kamen Rider, finally.
I don't know. I guess my thing is like, if I was in their situation, I'd have been like, but they already know. Do they? They don't. Yeah, because it's even commented earlier on in the episode where they're like, or maybe it's later on in the episode, but they're like, where the heck is Tachibana? Right? Or not Tachibana, but Takeshi. I'm mixing this up.
They don't know
do
yet.
They know yet that?
I don't think
no,
they
do not know.
No.
They don't know.
Okay.
This is revealed later. The Kamen Rider's here.
But yeah, Kamen Rider's here. So Kamen Rider is here. We save the day, and Tachibana and Taki go back to the motocross club to get patched up. So I have this written a specific way in the synopsis. So I'm wondering if Gopher, do you still have the episode up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you go ahead and confirm for me very quickly? Because I have it written in the synopsis that I typed up that this is the point where it is revealed that Hongo and Rurukyo are out of the country beating up Shocker. So if you could just confirm that, if it's then or a little bit later.
It is a scene or so later.
Yeah, it's later.
Okay.
I have my notes as well.
Okay, so I goofed on that part a little bit. Going to say. But yeah, Tachibana and Taki are getting patched up. We get some fun interactions with the new Hata the ladies.
Yeah. Proving their thirst.
Yeah, really.
Don't be such a baby, married man.
Don't be such a baby, married man. And then they just drop him like a sack of bricks. Just...
The reply to this is wonderful. What a rotten trick. Go do it yourself.
Yeah, I pretended an injury so I could get a pretty girl to touch me, even though I'm married. Motherfucker, I got attacked by a cactus. Just patch me up.
We're all gonna tend to Tachibana now.
Yeah.
The real hero.
And of course, Tachibana, he's feeling good. So Tachibana and Taki, they're getting all patched up. We're having some fun with the Rider girls. And suddenly, hold on, where am I in the fucking thing? Yes. We get the introduction of our new character. So we hear a noise outside, and we're like, oh, it's Hongo. He's finally back. but it's not Hongo at all. Because Tachibana goes to, like, I guess he, like, peeks out of a curtain to check outside, and he's like, it's not Hongo. We're not sure who it is. Everybody hide. Turn off the lights. Because...
I'm gonna jump his ass.
Yeah. Though Hongo may not be here to teach us, we shall always follow his teachings. Is there a stranger in your midst? Jump his ass.
But this is a business establishment. You can't jump every stranger that comes through the door, but I guess that's...
Well,
maybe that's why Snack Amigo didn't have any patrons aside from Hongo.
Right. You know, every time some dude would walk in, Hongo was on his ass like white on rice. Hongo had 4 confirmed murders off screen inside Snack Amigo alone. Because every time someone came in for some water, they got choked out.
It's just how he greets people, but everyone thought, oh, Hongo's keeping us safe.
No, he's just saying hello with his very strong
with his powerful whippers.
His powerful whippers.
It's gonna get you.
So yeah, they turn off the lights and hide. This dude tries to walk in, and everyone jumps him, and he serves to them their own asses on a platter.
In the dark,
with
like
a
barely
flower
looking,
in his mouth.
Easily just holding a flower in his mouth for no fucking reason.
Yeah, I thought there would be some explanation for that, and I had immediately forgotten about it when he just kicked ass so readily. But yeah, that was a thing that was just never addressed ever.
He just takes it out of his mouth and throws it in the Rider girls' laps as they're just laid out on the couch.
Man, just found a really pretty flower.
Yeah.
To be fair, like, we see a couple other behaviors from him and learn a little bit more about his background that does kind of hint at maybe why he had that flower, but they never actually address it.
It is yet to be confirmed yet, but I think alongside B, I am also operating under the assumption that he's like a nature photographer. Because they do mention a little later on that he is a photographer. Actually, they mention it in this scene.
He introduces himself as such. Yeah.
He introduces himself as a photographer, and we do see him later on carrying other flowers just in his hand, not remotely addressed in any way. So I think that's just a thing he does. He just either likes flowers or he likes to take specimens for photography in other locations or sets.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be explained.
Just thinks
in
they're
episode.
neat.
But yeah, so this guy beats everyone's ass. They turn on the lights and they're like, "Who are you? You're not the person we were expecting." And he's like, "I'm photographer Hayato Ichibanji. I came to give you back the keys to your bike that you forgot." Which is, how do you know to bring it there? I mean, I guess I don't.
Don't worry about it. You asked too many questions.
I'm guessing he got the rundown.
Fair. Yeah, I guess.
Like, I don't think any intel was sparing when it came to. I don't want to get ahead of myself,
very
but
clearly there
I'm
was
sure
some
he was
intel
given
that was
plenty of
spared.
instructions. Yeah, I think he was given a decent amount of instructions, and maybe he knew potentially where to find allies, but wasn't told everything about them.
Well, apparently, he's not the one with whom intel was spared is the problem.
What if
that's fair?
The self-driving motorcycle goes both ways.
That's fair.
So I just drove it back.
That's a hell of a way to say that sentence. Self-driving motorcycle, little self-drive for motorcycles and jeeps.
It went back to its original destination. So it's just like, yeah, this is probably the person who owns it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait. I just remembered. Isn't that they don't arrive back with said bike because doesn't Kamen Rider just fuck off on the bike?
Shit, you're right. He does
leave them.
He fucking steals their bike.
He just leaves them in the aftermath of Cactus Man.
How did they get home?
They walked.
Fucking walk. Yeah, that's the real reason they got their injuries. It wasn't the fucking cactus bomb at the end of the fight. It was that they had to walk like 45 miles. It was like homeward bound.
So tired.
Oh God.
Please, why don't we serve water anymore?
Instead, all we've got are these sassy youths.
They'll only make you thirstier.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Well,
For real.
they're at least the ones dehydrated, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no water with them. They are clear out. Hold on. I do feel like it is important that we clarify, because we keep acting like the Rider girls are the ones who are thirsty. It is just Mari.
It is
Mari
mostly
the
Mari.
thirsty
Mari
one.
has an unquenchable thirst.
Just, there's...
You need to get her some fucking Gatorade. Put some electrolytes
Girl
in her.
decided that it was her hot girl summer with no permission needed, and she is just going off in every scene she appears
really.
in.
Yeah. She has got that voice. I don't know really how to describe it outside of a lot of old animes from this era also just have this voice. It's that one that just has that real squeaky up tilt.
Yeah.
Just real, like, ooh, kind of thing going on. Just every sentence.
I imagine this is probably, like, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I imagine this is exactly what Fujiko and the old Lupin album or anime sounds like. I mean, it's one of those things where if you know enough about old anime, you have heard this voice. You know this character. I wonder if that's just Linda's actual, like, I wonder if that's her, like, doing a little bit of a voice, playing it up a bit, or if that's just kind of how she sounds.
I'd have to imagine that's an affectation for any human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think the way I would describe it to people who aren't super into anime, let alone old anime, trying to imagine this is, like, just a young woman trying so hard.
God, talk like this.
Yeah.
Like, kinda like
that's
that.
actually not bad. Yeah, really,
Do that in Japanese.
really just doing the most.
Just doing the absolute most in, like, the thirstiest way possible.
Really.
Like, every syllable is just devoid of moisture.
Dry like a desert.
In the cactus.
She's just, I could use a drink.
Good
Like,
lord.
It's
Yeah.
like I lose my mind hearing this kind of
That's
character,
fair.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, please,
Ma'am.
go stand in the
Yeah,
corner.
right.
Please.
Like
I'm bone
Ma'am.
dry.
I am one to talk because of the things I have done and said, and the shit that I've exposed people to in my life. But I can only handle so much horny energy in the scene, and like the horny level rises exponentially per second each scene that she is in and speaking.
Like, it's not even just her voice, however, because
God, yeah, it's her
she
mannerisms,
has
too.
to have been, like, heavily instructed to just turn up the horny to 800, because, like, I keep playing the scene back where she pushes Tachibana out of the way to get in front of our new Kamen Rider.
Yeah, that's right, because she wants a picture taken of her.
And she just, like, gestures and, like, undulates.
Yeah.
She's just around.
With the big hair
Jiggling
and the
everywhere.
go-go boots.
She's like, oh, please photography me. And I'm just like, oh, God. Please.
Yeah, it's...
Ma'am?
Would you like a drink?
Yeah, may I offer
We're not
you
a
some
cafe
water?
anymore, but we can still
Take
talk.
my photo, Hayato.
Ma'am?
Bam.
Oh,
Speaking of the desert and cactus,
Yes, please
Yeah,
get us
we'll
out
go
of
ahead
here.
and just jump right to the next part of the episode because, from here we go to a commercial break, and so we go back to the shocker brace, where old Sabotegron is explaining his experimental bomb called the cactus flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fuck that up?
Or the
Okay,
Mexican flower.
cool.
He is so dedicated to his theme.
He really is. I will say, I appreciate
he
that
waxes
much.
poetic about his entire plan.
You do. I'm gonna say a hot take here.
Please, because I've just been
Okay.
burdened with knowledge.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, go do your hot
Go
take,
on,
and then I'll say my thing that's very stupid.
Do your knowledge first.
Um,
You can't just say burdened with knowledge.
I
and then
just
expect
had the very unfortunate realization that Sabotegron is the Tequila Gundam of Kamen Rider.
No!
Yeah,
No!
yeah, he is. B. How do you think I fucking feel? I like that show.
How?
He's so fucking dedicated to the theme.
Oh! Oh!
I'm sorry, B.
I think you've killed them.
Yeah.
Oh! Listen, I forget about the existence of every Gundam in that show until anyone reminds
I'll
me.
never forget about Tequila Gundam. He lives rent-free in my head. And also, I think unironically, one of the few, like, toys or figures I got from G Gundam was Tequila Gundam.
I especially love it that that's just what it's called.
Yep.
It's just...
I don't even watch Gundam, and I know
Everybody
Tequila
knows
Gundam.
Tequila
He's
Gundam.
powerful.
I had thought that people just jokingly called it that because it's obviously just a very, very stereotypically designed bot. Like if you think
Sure is.
make a bot with a Mexican aesthetic, if your only experience with Mexico is never being there, then
if you have only
get
experienced
Tequila
Mexico
Gundam.
through a Mexican restaurant, and then
Yeah, like through a taco
yeah,
shop.
Someone
yeah.
just Googling Tequila Gundam.
yeah,
Someone went to a local Mexican food place the night after they played that part in Metal Gear Rising, and then they said, "This is a good idea," and they did it.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, God, Tequila, like, I try to defend Tequila Gundam just a little bit because that's actually a really good character arc that happens in that show. But also, God, that design.
It's just a really unfortunate thing that happens so often in anime. Just really terrible representation through terrible, stereotypical, or worse design. But they're just really well written. For some reason. It's so hard to hate them. You can't just resent them.
I guess the real question is, what is worse between Tequila Gundam or the Neo Holland Gundam that is just a windmill?
I was just looking at that. I was just looking at another Gundam.
Yep.
To be fair, there are worse Gundams than both
That's
of those, but I don't think we should talk about
I'll
those.
make a Gundam podcast later.
Yes.
You know,
Please look up all of those wild Gundams.
I haven't watched any Gundam. You can show it to me, and
But
yell
also,
about it.
watch G Gundam, because it's unironically a really good show.
It's
It's a personal favorite of mine.
It's gonna sound
Cactus
even
Man.
more stupid now that all this is in the air, but I think Sabotegron is one of the better Kamen Rider villains we've had in a long time.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think that's a hot take.
Is it?
I mean,
Okay,
if
okay.
anything, it
I'm
is.
like-
He is stated as much at the beginning of the episode.
He's competent, and if I'm being honest, more than anything, the thing I appreciate most about him is that the branding is more on point than it has ever been.
Yeah.
He has a full arsenal,
Yeah.
and it is all on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that
Like, he is someone
B-woman
who
shit where he just has a sword.
he is someone who
He has a cactus sword.
who is
Sorry, go on.
who just loves killing.
Yeah.
And like, he not only is part of this cause, but he's down to make it better and is looking for ways to improve it. And guess that's respectable.
If it
weren't in this context.
Yeah. Like,
why
if
you
there
gotta
was
be
anything
so
else, it'd be
bad?
super respectable. But unfortunately, your employers are in fact Nazis. So it's hard to give you full credit.
Why do you gotta waste all this talent, Sabotegron?
Yeah, come
You're
on,
better
Sabo.
than this. Have your redemption arc. Zuko redemption arc. Let's go.
We'll see, won't we?
Yeah, I guess. I suppose if it's popsicle, it's possible. But yeah, so Sabotegron is talking to Shocker and the Grunts about the cactus flower bombs that he used in Mexico, kind of explaining how they work and everything. We get a demonstration of the bomb, which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
So very simply, the way it works is it's just a cactus. It's just a cactus. But if he so chooses, when something touches one of the thorns of said cactus, it then fucking explodes.
Which he demonstrates as like an entire garden of
Yeah.
them. In some cutaway, I guess, and a butterfly lands on it, and then it cuts to stock footage of a big ass explosion of some other building with a tank next to it.
Yeah.
No idea where that place was, but it's fucking gone now.
It's gone.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
anymore.
It has been annihilated.
And then he waxes
That poor
poetic
butterfly.
about it. Yeah, that butterfly is also gone.
Yep.
Got Terminator 2'd.
Interestingly enough, this is
That's what-
apparently not like the Sabotegron like cactus growing facility though, because we cut back to that same place later on, like right after this exact scene. Right, like we see the Sabotegron cactus growing place. A butterfly touches one of the cacti. We get that big fake explosion, and then we go back to the same place. And then, well, of course, we go back to it later in the second episode. It's very, very continuity.
It's like just a visual aid that exists for the audience only, that doesn't exist within the context of the actual like seminar he's putting on for the other Shocker men.
It's like
they just have to. Is
it's
there
his
imagination
visual
or something? I don't know.
it's like the scene in the Gekagaras episode where fucking you see them blowing up the plane, and then they're like, "That's what we're gonna do once we make the danger light."
Yeah, it is kind of just like that.
Yeah. So as we get done watching Sabotegron explaining his cool new flowers, and we go to Taki and Tachibana, and Taki and Tachibana are trying to find Shocker's base to figure out what they are doing. And as they are doing so, they run into Hayato, who is just kind of around, hanging out. He's got some flowers in his hand. It's interesting because we get into a little argument here because Taki and Tachibana are accusing Hayato of following them, and he's like, "I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I showed up here before you. You followed me. I'm walking in the opposite direction." Just has a rebuttal for everything.
Oh yeah,
Real
Hayato,
FBI sleuth work.
Yeah, Hayato is so sassy.
Yeah.
He
He is sharp as a tag.
attitude off
Or
the charts.
a cactus, even.
Well, he's sharper than a cactus, as we will prove here as the episodes continue. But yeah, it is interesting because Hongo had his own like very specific kind of brand of sassiness, and it's not this.
No.
And so now that we've got like a new sassy guy, and boy is he sassy.
He is like a little prankster. We'll get to that.
He's
He's a
like I feel
jokester.
like Hongo. I don't necessarily want to say he's more stoic, but he's a lot more reserved than Hayato has been thus far.
Yeah.
And like Hayato he seems a lot more easy to provoke, as strange as that may sound. Like if you're not a fascist, I mean.
Yeah.
Like Hongo is a pretty easygoing guy, unless he suspects anyone might remotely attempt to threaten him. Then he'll turn off the lights and choke you out in the dark. But
Well, that's just how he says hello.
Hayato will... that's just how he is, and, we love him for it. But Hayato is just a spicy man.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite have the rage. He doesn't quite have the immediate bloodlust of Hongo, but he's got that spice. Got just a little bit of it.
He seems like, I don't know, I don't know if saying Hongo is more personable is the right way of phrasing it, but Hongo seems like he gets along well with people by sticking sort of to the side and just smiling when appropriate.
Yeah, Hongo is definitely... I almost want to say it is that Hongo is like trying to be a little more inconspicuous. Whereas like Hayato's approach is like, if I'm just kind of like my normal self, or maybe even if I'm just kind of like a weird guy, they won't necessarily suspect that I'm a cyborg.
I guess the way to describe it is Hongo is mild-mannered and Hayato is flamboyant.
Yes. Yeah. Very good way to put it, yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, usually.
Like, there are definitely exceptions for Hongo.
I'm gonna go open this.
I don't know about Hayato yet, but
So
I'm excited to see...
Finish your thought. My apologies.
Oh, I was done.
Okay. I think another way to describe it is that Hayato is like more Saturday morning cartoons than Hongo, if that makes sense.
A little bit.
He's got that real Spider-Man kind of banter to him.
Yeah.
Kind of spunky.
Yeah.
At least when he's out the suit. When he's in the suit, he gets a lot more business.
Yeah, well, of course. It's his business suit.
And that's fair. I think, yeah, he's a lot more quippy. Hongo doesn't tend to do quips. He sees a target, and he's on the run. Hayato doesn't mind taking the time to tear you down verbally first.
Yeah. So,
You know,
interesting dynamics with these guys.
Or fuck around with you while you wander around a cactus field and bumble around like idiots while he just looks at you and laughs.
It's all that photographing plants. He's learned to appreciate. Just sit back.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
So speaking of what Shakes was talking about with bumbling around, like we said, Tachibana and Taki, they're looking for the shocker base. They run to Hayato, and Hayato tells him, like, hey, be careful here. You almost stepped on this weird cactus. It's weird. Cactus like these don't grow in this area. You guys might want to be careful. And Tachibana and Taki, of course, blow him off. Because that's just how he is, or how they are. So Tachibana and Taki, they keep kind of, they're still doing their thing. They're looking for a shocker base, and boy, how do they find themselves a shocker base. But that's not the only thing they find. They also find Hayato. He's still hanging out. Hey, I thought we were mean to you, dude. Get out of here, you little rascal.
He's still here to laugh at you.
Except he doesn't have his on his navel glasses on. Char, why are you here? I came to laugh at you. Anyway, so they find the shocker base and they find Hayato, and they're like, all right, this guy is too close to the shocker base. He's gonna get hurt. Let's get him out of here. And so they go to be like, hey, you should get out of here. It's not safe. And he's like, actually, I'm the one who found it's not safe. Some of these cacti explode. Check this out. And he like throws a rock at one of the cactus or something. It doesn't blow up though, because Sabotegron's a little bit smarter than that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Sabotegron's in the base and he's watching all of this go down. And he's like, "What? You think I can't choose when to detonate a cactus? Trying to keep a low profile here, you dick." So Sabotegron's got everything set up. I believe they specifically mentioned something about, like, they have these cacti set up as a defense for the Shocker base in an attempt to lure in Hongo. Not sure how that one would work, but
They
Maybe
know
with his
know
big-
he's out for blood.
I suppose.
His juicy 600 IQ would see a field of cacti and say, "That's not normal, must be Shocker."
These
Yeah.
aren't just cacti, they're Nazi cacti.
Yeah.
They're Nazi cacti. He can smell it on them. You know he can.
You know what? You're right.
got
I
his-
don't know why I
He's
ever
got
doubted
his
him.
super cyborg
His-
nose.
He can feel it. His eyebrows are tingling.
So yes, he attempts to blow up one of the cacti, but it doesn't work. So Taki and Tachibana are like, all right, well, we're going to go do our shit. We're going to try and break into the base. But the guard that they attempt to take down to break in turns out to be a dummy. And they're like, I think they're onto us. I think we walked into a trap. Let's get out of here. So they try to do exactly that. They end up reconvening with Hayato, but they get attacked by Shocker. And it is in this Shocker attack that Hayato reveals to Taki and Tachibana that he's the new Kamen Rider. And that he was given this position after Takeshi had rescued him and left to go to do they specify what country he
Not in this scene.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's in this scene.
He went to another area.
Yeah.
And also Ruriko went with him.
For whatever reason.
Ruriko, who doesn't know that Hongo is the
Yeah, as
Kamen
far as we
Rider,
are aware.
has still teamed up with him in another country to fight Shocker.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's doing great.
You think?
I'm actually there's a small part of me that can't help but think that he did not agree to take her, but that she simply followed him and he was like, "Well, crud, like I don't have enough time to take you back to Japan, and I
Right.
don't trust you to make it there back safely yourself, so I guess just stick around."
Yeah, just
I'm
hang
We're a
out.
Ruriko.
team now.
I'm Ruriko. I bought a one-way plane ticket to follow Hongo. And now I'm here in Europe.
Yeah, that
Why?
I want to see
Yuriko,
this show.
why?
I'm not
I
gonna
need
lie,
this
I do
spin-off.
want to see this spin-off of just Ruriko and Hongo doing their thing.
yeah, that does seem like it would be kind of fun. What I
I hope we get insights into that later.
What I personally appreciated is, I believe at some point Gopher was the one who mentioned the 2016 Kamen Rider Ichigo movie, and asked
A
if we
while
were going
back,
to
yeah.
watch it. I don't know if I've seen it all the way through, but I have at least seen part of that film. And they actually connect that continuity thread. Because the scene starts with Hongo in like Brazil or something fighting Shocker agents. So like when I heard Hayato be like he went to another country to go deal with Shocker, I was like, hey, that's how the other Kamen Rider movie starts. I can't believe that they make that like a common thread for Takeshi as Kamen Rider, that like at some point he just like keeps following Shocker all over the world and like kicking their asses, hunting them down to the ends of the earth.
Truly,
Yes.
yeah.
So
You
good.
will follow them to the ends of the earth.
You can't escape me.
Can't escape me.
They cannot.
I'll
can't
follow you
escape
to
me.
the ends of the earth.
So with Hayato having explained his whole shit, essentially just being that he was someone who got shockerified,
Shockerification?
Yeah.
Covert cyborgified.
He's got robot bits now. And then you got
He's a cyborg freak, and he's also
yeah,
not
and
normal.
he got rescued by Hongo, and Hongo was like, "Hey, can you do me a solid? Now that you are also a Kamen Rider, and protect Japan while I fuck off to do some other shit in some other countries." And apparently Hayato was like, "Yeah, that's cool."
Yeah. You see, he agreed.
Yeah, it's on him at the end of the day because he did agree. But yeah, and so we get a transformation and our first like big fight scene. with our new Kamen
He
Rider.
pulls the Superman with his vest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulls that shit open and it's just like, boom, Kamen Rider belt. And they're like, what?
Yes, and we have the most concrete transformation scene that we've had. That's what, like, we had transformations before, but they were always a little vague on the mechanisms.
Yeah, this one is very deliberate in
Yes.
And animated.
Yeah.
There's a big colorful burst of animation.
The sparks.
What I really like, and I know this is kind of a small thing, but it is just something to appreciate, especially from the previous Hongo transformations, is that they are very explicit about what Hayato and his shit is regarding his belt. His belt is on him. It is attached to him all the time. It is a part of his body. That is why he does the Superman, is so he can reveal the belt to do the transformation. And it's very nice to have that continuity when faced against Takeshi Hongo's "the belt shows up when I press the button on the motorcycle," except for when it doesn't. Like, Hongo's shit was all over the place.
Still don't know about them fleshy fans.
Yep, still don't know.
But,
I love the fleshy fans.
yeah, I just hope they're confirmed. I really do. Or at
That's
least they're
fair.
kept vague.
But yeah,
Don't unconfirm my fleshy fans.
we get a new transformation
Complete with
animation.
shouting
Yeah, I
henshin.
was gonna say we get the pose now, so we get the doing the Kamen Rider pose, kind of doing the fusion ha, arms move up into the Rider fight pose, and then he jumps. We get that's when he actually yells out henshin, which I don't think we ever actually got a henshin out of Hongo these first 13 episodes.
this is the
No,
first.
he was too powerful.
Yeah. So the start of a
He didn't
legacy
need it.
there.
But they're really getting their formula down. I
Yeah.
feel like they really decided with a fresh new start, with a fresh new Kamen Rider, they would really sit down and figure out, okay, if we want to change something, this is a great time to completely scrap anything else that we've previously done. And this feels a lot closer to what I imagine becomes the true to form Kamen Rider transformation.
Yeah, more. I mean, this is
Yeah,
pretty
for
much
real.
like essentially. I mean, this is basically just it, because the belt's already on him. So, I mean, in other Kamen Rider series, they like to add more bits to the transformations because that obviously helps facilitate both the power ups and selling more toys. But other than that, yeah, this is pretty much the formulaic. Like, I mean, obviously, every transformation going forward is not going to be exactly like this, but it is going to be like this in some semblance of you're going to get a shot of the person with the belt on. They are going to do whatever to start activating the transformation. They will do some sort of a pose or something to get to a point where they will say henshin and then activate some sort of a mechanism in some way. They're going to transform. We're going to fight. I mean, you hit all of the beats in this first transformation, and that's something I really like about these two episodes is you can tell that they have made a point to kind of sit down and figure out what their formula is going to be. Like
It kind of feels historic.
yeah,
Yeah, we are witnessing the true new era stuff.
yeah,
now.
we are really kind of. I don't think serialized is the right word. I'm not streamlined. That's it.
We're on brand.
That's what it is. We are finally starting to kind of streamline the Kamen Rider process. We are seeing the implementation of the framework that is going to last us 50 years.
Jeez.
You know, with the Hongo stuff, we were clearly still kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We were still figuring things out. We weren't quite sure what we wanted to do. We were, we started off with no money, and then we suddenly started making all of this money. And we just didn't know quite what to do. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, our lead actor broke his leg and had to be out for a while. And we used the time between then and when we were going to start to film this new season, essentially, to be like, all right, let's figure shit out. And
That terrifying amalgam just became something magical.
yeah, very, very, it's very cool to kind of see the genesis of what is essentially going to be the next 50 years of Kamen Rider, give or take some iterations to try and keep the show fresh.
I mean this with the absolute most possible respect for Hongo and all of the experimental work that everyone in the staff did with him, but with this first set of episodes into this new season, with a new Kamen Rider and new effects, and really establishing, I feel, thus far, the most solidly what their vision for Kamen Rider will be from here on out. It feels very much like a Hongo walked so Hayato could run kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's
just a little bit, yeah.
It is.
I cannot wait for Hongo to come back and run with him, though.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be when we get into the good shit, because I was actually even just thinking about, on the grounds of, kind of setting the framework for what Kamen Rider would be in the future. You don't get as much in this particular fight scene, but in the second episode, there are a lot of scenes of V2 fighting with another person, whether it's, he's fighting with Taki or he's fighting with, Tachibana. V2 always seems to have, like, an ally by his side, for at least for certain chunks of the second episode. And I remember just seeing that and thinking, I wonder if that's where they got the idea to, when Fujioka was available and they were able to get Hongo back, I wonder if that's where they kind of got the idea that, hey, people might like it more if we have more heroes on screen at a time. Because now, I mean, it's so common for Kamen Rider to almost be in Sentai-esque teams where you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 riders rolling up to a fight and, like, helping out with shit. And so it would have been interesting to see if even the framework of something like that started as early as this original series with just, like, yeah, we got 2 guys who are Kamen Rider, and there are 2 other dudes who, like, maybe they aren't Kamen Rider, but they'll help. It's very, very, very interesting to check all of this stuff out. But yeah, I mean, that's, unless there are some points that people want to call out specifically from this particular fight scene, I can't really think of anything except for there is a bit on the motorcycle with some grunts and some exploding cacti.
Absolutely, that's it.
We have a little bit of fun with that.
That's
Yes.
the star.
There is a very good bit where, after fighting some shocker grunts on motorcycles, Kamen Rider comes down on his own motorcycle and starts chasing around shocker grunts and throwing them into the Sabotegron's exploding cactus. There is explicitly one guy who he's just chasing after on his bike, and he runs into a cactus and explodes. Very good shots. Yeah, very, very good stuff. But other than that, I cannot think of anything super significant that happened in this fight scene, save for essentially the end of the episode. Unless there's, if anyone else has something they want to talk about that I'm missing.
A lot of it, I guess the main takeaway of it is they, at least for Cactus Man, they are definitely dedicating a lot of slow-mo fight scenes.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting new change. Just a lot of, like, I guess they didn't have a big sequence, so they just slowed it down, which is a way to do it. But the fight choreography still seems solid. They're still, we're still doing our wrestling moves. Cactus Man, you can see it so much better in slow motion, just goes for the straight knee drop.
Oh, yeah.
Like any pro wrestler would do when somebody's on the ground.
Yeah, he straight up tries to drop that knee across the throat.
Yeah, and just real good stuff like that. I think it might have been earlier. There's also, in regards to the production quality going up, Cactus Man's cactus sword is he swung and missed at one point and hit the ground, and they actually did some small time pyrotechnics for that as well.
Yeah, that was back
so
in
we're
the,
getting into the real
first
shit
fight scene, but that was still a good little bit. Yeah,
just like like
Just
we're getting the
the
high
little
impact.
touches.
but yeah, so
But yes,
we have ourselves it's a pretty standard Kamen Rider fight scene, except for the one non-standard part about it, which is how it ends. We see Sabotegron get the slight better of Kamen Rider, and it looks like and he throws them, and it looks like Kamen Rider is heading right over that cliff into into a cactus. And that's where we stop the episode. We have a cliffhanger with an announcer being like, "It seems like Sabotegron may have gotten the best of our Kamen Rider. Is our hero going to survive? Find out next time." Which,
I think Kamen Rider's fucked. Come back next week.
Come back next week to see if this dude dies or not. Which I feel like this is the first. No, it's the second time. It has not been quite as actionable of a cliffhanger. In that this is like literally they paused mid shot of him in air about to dive into this cactus, and they were like, "That's the end of the episode, kids."
Hit that cactus. Check out these new credits.
Yeah, bust out the new credits. Which we do get a new credits sequence. Same song though, if I recall correctly.
Before we get to that though, I just want to mention Kamen Rider or Rider Power, which is never explained.
Rider Power.
I think the Rider Power was the Rider Jump.
Was it?
I thought he was just powering up.
Maybe.
Yeah,
look, we're still at the point where Kamen Rider
we don't actually know.
Shit.
I guess
because he says Rider Power, and then he re-engages with
he gets beat
with
up.
the enemy with Sabotegron, and Sabotegron doesn't take extra hits. He keeps deflecting the hits actually, and then right after that, that's when he gets thrown into the pile of exploding cacti. So
if anything, it's a power down.
Look,
is it a bluff? Is
two episodes ago,
I don't know, is he
Takeshi
taunting?
Hongo said Rider fight for no reason. I'm leaving him alone on this one.
Hayato said Rider fight as well, though.
No, Hongo gets a pass. He's Hongo.
That's fair.
Hongo gets a pass because
we don't know about you just yet,
no,
Hayato.
never mind. Let's keep going.
But yeah, so that is episode 1, or episode 14 actually, but that is part 1 of this episode, Raid of the Demon Sabotegron. I mean, all in all, a pretty good episode. I will say, this does a good job of recognizing that if you're at this point, you should know what the fuck is going on, but still establishing pretty much all of the plot points that you would need to know if you were new to the show. We get a
new status quo.
Yeah, we get a pretty good example of what Shocker is and what their deal is. We get a pretty good understanding of Tachibana and Taki and their whole shit. We get our new Kamen Rider's origin story, one in a nice, neat package, and we get an explanation of Takeshi Hongo and his whole shit, at least enough to know that the reason some of these other people are already in on it on what might be perceived as your episode 1 is because there was another guy who was doing this beforehand and left to go do it again somewhere else. So very good, plot wise. I will actually say, it just occurred to me, I can't think of anything in this episode that didn't go explained.
That's true.
They kept it tight. Yeah, they actually kept the plot.
Damn.
With not only that, part 2 is going to have payoffs to set up materials, which I am not used to yet in this show.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. They just polishing everything up.
They really
it's
are.
wonderful.
Yeah, we are really getting there.
Fats, tell me about these credits.
The credits, they're very good credits. Again, I just want to confirm, not a new song, correct?
No.
I don't
not
think
a new
so.
song, but instead what we get is great new choreography. We are on a bridge somewhere.
Chucking
dudes into the water.
Dangerously throwing goons off of a bridge 20 feet down into the water.
In costume too. Especially because Spider-Man's there, not Spider-Man, but the Shocker Spider-Man. He's one of the guys.
Episode 1, Spider-Man. Getting chumped in the credits.
It's just whoosh. It's a good, and especially because it's got, I think it has a better rendition of the effect that they were trying to do with the original ending theme, because hold on, let me watch this again just to see if I remember it.
Oh, wait, the Batman is in the credits too.
Is he?
Yeah, he comes in.
There's multiple old enemies.
Yeah, oh, that's nice.
Okay, I was wrong about the
really
lighting
great.
thing I was going to say, because I don't know why, but my brain just remembered it being at, like, sunset and looking really cool. It's not quite. They need the afternoon lighting, but it just looks really cool.
I love that they're just basically silhouetted.
Yeah.
The bridge is silhouetted, and all of the enemies in Kamen Rider are just fighting silhouetted in slow-mo on this bridge. It's kind of beautiful.
Very nice.
Yo, who
It's
wants to fight me on a
incredible,
bridge until we both fall into the ocean?
And then
I
Kamen
do.
Rider takes a dive with the last move.
Yeah. It's just like, you're coming
Yeah.
with me.
Is that foreshadowing?
Maybe. Who knows?
And then we get some
Oh,
new
no.
then we get some new fun just fight
Oh, yeah,
footage
with some of the other...
new and old
yeah.
dudes.
I also love the new footage of the bikes has been really
Very nice,
Yeah.
Like the quick shot between those two shots of the fights where Hayato is riding off with the bike. They have this like beautiful red flare on the smoke
yeah.
that is just pouring out of the back of the bike. And it just really looks like he's rocketing.
It's all starting to come together. It's really all starting to come together very nicely.
It is. I love it.
With that, we hope that you are also thinking that everything is coming together nicely. We are going to come together nicely now for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with episode 15, the second episode of this episode, Counterattack Sabotegron, right after these messages.
Thank you for listening so far. Please consider giving us a follow over at @FirstRidePod on Twitter. If you want to catch us individually, you can also follow @KingFats95, @WhaleGopher, @ThatGalInTheHat, and @BDropsArt. If you'd like to see even more, consider following the Tales of Harbor Twitter, @HarborTales. Tales of Harbor is an actual play OVA tabletop game featuring Action Shakespeare and B-Drops, along with Public Opinion RP and DM'd by Wordsy. Consider using the hashtag Tales of Harbor. Not only does it help promote the show, but doing so will let your name be used as an NPC within the game. Furthermore, the pinned tweet on the Tales of Harbor Twitter is a place where you can suggest magical items for the players to purchase. You can submit them anonymously, or you can leave your name if you wish to be credited for the item. Tales of Harbor is hosted every other Friday on twitch.tv/wordsy. WORDSE. Thank you for listening, and now back to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for coming back to us after the break. We hope you enjoyed it. Just a quick double up plug, I guess. Yeah, sure, we'll call it that. Double up plug for the Twitter again. While doing some research about some Kamen Rider stuff, we were some of us found out about it, some of us were reminded about it. There is a Kamen Rider manga that has come out. There's actually a couple of Kamen Rider mangas that have come out. If that seems something that would be interesting to you, if that seems like something that would be interesting to you, something that you want to check out, go ahead and check out that Twitter. We will try to post a tweet with all of the various names of various Kamen Rider manga you can check out sometime in the near future, so that you can look at that and enjoy it. But with that being said, and with that break being done, let's just get right into it with episode 15, Counterattack Sabotegron, the second episode of these two. Counterattack Sabotegron aired July 10th, 1971. That's the original airing date. And the episode begins right where the previous episode ends off, pretty much. We do that thing that you'll traditionally do when an episode ends in a cliffhanger, where you'll start a little, maybe like a minute or two back in time from when the previous episode stopped. So we get part of the previous fight scene again, but then we just go right into Kamen Rider getting yeeted into a cactus, except he deftly dodges a I think he dodges and then like somehow positions Sabotegron in front of the cactus and Rider kicks him into it, right?
The man double jumps.
That's the first thing we have to do to acknowledge is that he does double jump.
But yeah, pretty much as you said, he double jumps and I guess backflips behind Cactus Man, and yeah, just kind of Rider kicks him into the
cactus, and you would assume, of course, that would destroy him and he would explode. But as Taki and Tachibana go to celebrate his victory, Kamen Rider informs them that he has not killed Sabotegron and that he is using his cyborg ears to hear him digging underground and running away. Because we have to bring that plot point back, I guess. Tachibana even...
Hey.
Oh, go ahead.
I love...
It makes more sense. He's a plant.
I was talking about the cyborg ears, but you're right about the digging thing as well, because this is the second dude.
I mean, yeah, I love the cyborg freak ears, though.
They're so good.
It's such a
They're
weird...
so good.
It's like one of those Superman, like, super niche powers that only shows up, like, once every 3 issues. Like, hey, remember when we said that Superman has, like, toenails of steel? Like 7 issues ago? And I'm like, yeah, vaguely, why?
You do now.
Well, if you didn't remember, you're gonna, because they're relevant for 5 pages. Okay, let's move on. And that is how I feel about the cyborg ears. It's just like, hey, did you remember this power? No? Well, you're gonna for 45 seconds. All right, and we don't care anymore. So Sabotegron digs away to safety, and Tachibana and Taki agree to join forces with Hayato to help him defeat Shocker in Japan. Yeah, I mean, it's just I was going to quantify that with like a period of time, but I remember specifically the way Hayato words it is he says until Sabotegron is defeated. No, until all of Shocker has been defeated in Japan, will you two join me? And they're like, yeah, of course. So we've got ourselves a little hero team. We got a squad. It's Tachibana, it's Taki, it's Hayato. They're gonna do it. So we.
I think I put down #squad.
As you should. Yeah, we got ourselves a little team, and honestly, I can't really think of a better team to want to have. It's a good little group we got here.
You could do a lot worse.
Pretty solid.
But thankfully, Ruriko's...
Yeah, but Ruriko's in Europe. I mean, okay.
Oh, I mean, I shouldn't be... I'm like Ruriko's, like...
No.
I'm the one who supports her.
No, it's fine.
I want to believe in her so bad.
So now we have to ask, what is the worst possible team that you can make in Kamen Rider? I think I've got it. And it requires...
3 shooters.
Shiro, Cobra Man.
Oh, shit.
Nuriko's friend that we always forget the name of. Or that little boy who cries very badly.
I didn't think we were counting Shocker enemies either. And I forgot about Crying Kid, too. See, my money was going to be Shiro, anime sickness daughter, kid who will warn you about an evil church but won't tell you why it's evil.
Yeah, that kid, I think, might suck a little more than Crying Kid.
It's a whole team of children.
Yeah,
it's going to be largely kids. Who are the 3 shittiest kids? Yeah, and then Shiro and Shiro and Horny Girl.
He's the worst babysitter of all time. Yeah, and maybe throw in Mari in there. I don't know.
To be fair, she can fence. Yeah, she's too competent.
In this episode.
Okay.
Crying Kid, Stoner Shocker dude.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh yes.
And oh gosh, who's the one I'm thinking of?
You've got this. I believe in you. Gopher.
Cobra Man.
You know what? Fair enough.
2 votes for Cobra Man.
If you can't think of someone shitty to put on your team, default to Cobra Man.
No, that was the person I was thinking. I just wanted to make sure it was clean before.
And then, of course, if you want
What's his name? I don't fucking know.
Cobra Man.
Cobra Man?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then, of course, if you want the best possible team, it is just Takeshi Hongo, Dummy the Hero Dog.
Yes.
And
Maybe Chameleon Man.
Takeshi Hongo, Chameleon Man, and the two dogs.
Yeah.
Pets.
Yeah.
Anyway.
God, I forgot about Dummy
How
the Hero
can you
Dog.
forget about Dummy the Hero Dog?
Rip in
Dummy
peace.
died for our sins.
He sacrificed his life for this
He really did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Anyway, in the episode we're actually talking about, we cut to a dream sequence where Hayato is having a dream about when he gets shockerfied.
Oh yeah.
He wakes up to remember it was all a dream, but also that it wasn't all a dream.
Well implemented exposition
Yeah.
and backstory in a storytelling way. That was
It was
cool.
very good. It was a great.
Yeah.
Another new thing for this show.
Yes. And while he's in this dream sequence, the Shocker scientist surgeons are kind of going over his credentials, kind of like how they did with Takeshi Hongo and how he was so intelligent and athletic. Essentially, Hayato's main points are that he's a super
he's like
fighter.
he's a black belt in karate and a black belt in judo, right?
At least, yeah.
Yes.
So
Several disciplines.
Yeah, they're really just entirely banking on this one
I mean, that
skill.
makes sense. Like I said during the episode, they've tried a bunch of different options, but what if they just tried a cyborg that could beat Hongo's ass?
Yeah, they needed
It's
just to make
definitely-
somebody who can really
Yeah.
kick ass and hope for
It's
the
like
best.
we're just gonna find the
It's
dude
all they
who's
could
the
do.
best at fighting, turn him into a cyborg, and fucking pray at this point.
Because you can't outsmart Hongo's juicy 600 IQ.
But you might be able
You
to
just can't.
outfight him.
So you just have to someone
Yeah.
who can kick a nerd's ass. Get a jock. So that's what
Too
they
bad
did.
that's also
What
Hongo.
was- Yeah, that's unfortunately also Hongo. What was his other qualifier?
Hayato's or Hongo's?
He had two.
Super
Hayato.
athleticism, I think, is what they said. They said judo,
Yeah, and I think the third one
karate,
is like superior
and
athleticism.
super athleticism.
Superior
they
athleticism,
had another
6th degree
category.
black belt in judo, 5th in karate.
Because they explicitly, I know, because we mentioned this
Yeah.
while watching the episode, they explicitly do not mention anything about his intelligence.
Yeah, I just thought was there. No, it wasn't a thing
No,
about
that
his
was
bike
it.
riding. No,
No.
okay.
No.
He just got the guy who can kick the most ass. They found the strongest photographer
Yeah,
on
basically.
Earth. Which is good because he's not a very good photographer as far as I can tell.
You haven't seen his work. You don't know that.
That's fair.
He likes shutters, though. We know that. He said that last episode. I don't know why.
So you could.
I sincerely don't.
He was a cameraman.
Yeah.
Um.
Even though he carries like a fucking Instamatic.
It was a little fucking
Like,
rinky dink,
little-
wasn't it?
Something to carry in his purse. Take pictures of the family on a road
Yeah,
trip.
that's like it's
Like,
not even a
Maybe-
fucking Polaroid.
photographer's camera. Yeah.
Maybe he's going for something specific. Either he's broke because he's a freelancer. I understand the feeling. Or maybe he's going for an aesthetic. Like, you know how people intentionally make their art look like 90s anime with all the like grainy filters and stuff. Like, maybe he's just going for
Ahead of
something.
his
I
time. Really.
wouldn't
Or
know
he's a
anything
pervert.
about that.
Shut up!
No, he can't be a pervert.
Why
He
would you
refuses to
say
take
that
pictures
about
of women.
him?
Oh wait.
Not
Well-
when they can see him.
Well,
But
oh, let's not
Yeah,
slander
come on, this is a
Hayato
Kamen
like
Rider.
that.
I won't commit to defaming our new Kamen Rider.
the
just yet.
specific wording he used last episode was, "I don't do
Yeah,
ladies."
he specifically says I don't do women, and I was like,
could
yeah,
be-
uh-huh,
He could be
yeah.
limp wrist, you know.
I mean, like I said, he is the flamboyant.
Yeah.
We all
He's got
understand
that
you,
energy.
Hayato.
He does have big gay energy.
Yeah.
I will say that right out the back.
Yeah.
He's a little gay little clown. He loves pulling pranks.
Gay clown baby, we love you, Hayato. You're in good company with us.
He wakes up from his nightmare and just kind of remarks like, "Huh, boy, I'm sure bad at being a bad guy,
Yeah,
aren't
that's
I?"
right. He's like, Shocker must be
And then moves to
disappointed
trip
in me.
whoever's-
Yeah. we don't really know under what circumstances Hongo saved him. Like, obviously we can assume that he got him out of his servitude in some capacity from Shocker, but we don't really know what he did. We just know that he feels indebted
I mean, I have to assume
him.
it's just kind of like with the last person that Shocker tried to cyborgify, except Hongo didn't quite make it in time with this one, unlike that one lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he was...
set him free and said, "Hey, you don't have to kill me if you don't want, by the way." And Hayato was like, "Yeah, all right. Look at that hair. It would be a crime."
And honestly, to be fair,
honestly.
if I was Hayato, with the same as Hongo, and some dickheads kidnapped me, turned me into a cyborg, and then some dude freed me and was like, "Hey, like, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it'd be cool if you murdered these Nazi dickheads who turned you into a cyborg." I'd probably be like, "Yeah, it would be cool, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to do that, actually."
I think I'd do almost anything
That's
Hongo
true.
told me to do, honestly.
I guess the question for me is, and I don't know, this might be something we discover later. Did Shocker once again fail to implement the mind control before they fucking
That
turned him
seems
into
to
a
be the
robot
case.
killing machine?
Yes.
Or maybe there's something in there already, and there might be some drama in the future.
That would be a hell of a twist.
I could believe that Hongo, like, with his super science brain, learned how to undo the brainwashing or something.
Possibly. I'm
Maybe.
kind of just banking on Shocker never learned do the brainwashing first. And this is just another instance of them fucking up.
It takes too long.
It certainly is implied that it is just that, because he says that, like, oh, Kamen Rider, or Hongo saved me, and now I'm the Kamen Rider. So, like, he did get cyborgified.
Yeah,
But
he
not
definitely got
shockerification.
cyborgified, he just didn't get shockified.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's no mention of it, which makes me think they've left it open to potentially be a twist later.
I would be proud of them if they
just
did.
because
That's how I feel.
they didn't mention deflecting it.
Yeah.
is all. But in the meantime, he has pranks to pull on the people knocking. at
Yeah,
his
so
door.
Tachibana, so he wakes up. We have a little bit more backstory exposition, and he gets a knock on the door, and like Hongo, he wakes up in the morning and he chooses violence, but then he decides violence can be funny.
He chooses
Yeah,
clown
he chooses
violence.
clown violence. So he goes to his door. He stands up against the wall so that the door will be covering him. He opens the door and trips the person walking into his house.
For no reason.
She just...
For no reason.
For no reason. This is just how he
How
conducts
does his
himself.
business. And the person who does walk into his house, it turns out to be Mari of the Rider Girls, because again, she wants him to take a picture of her.
I think you could just have stopped after him.
Yeah, that's fair. Sorry, Mari, but we're not 100% sure that he plays for that team.
She still wants some
Yeah,
good photos.
Still wants some good photos.
God damn
You
it!
gotta
I
pay.
need a headshot.
Yeah, I'm trying to be an actress.
Pay.
or something. Wait. I mean, I'm trying to
Wait.
ride motorcycles. I don't know what I want anymore.
I'm having an early life crisis.
So she talks to him about getting a photograph. He again is like, I don't take pictures of girls. Sorry, you're SOL. And she's like, well, hey, you got a present? And he's like, who is this present from? Or no, I think he goes to give her back the present, and she's like, oh, that's not mine. It was just at your door
Yeah.
when I showed up. Which makes it all the more interesting that she walks in while holding it. I guess I guess my big issue with that is the walking into the house. It'd be one thing if she was holding it to be like, hey, you got a package, by the way. But the fact that she just picks up this package and waltz in like she owns the place with his mail.
To be fair, that's just the kind of energy that
fair.
Mari exudes, I think.
I think Mari maybe doesn't
the
quite
room.
understand personal boundaries so great.
She does not care. For your
She
personal
sure doesn't,
boundaries.
because she's going to live inside
No, nor
your
safety.
fucking bubble.
She's going to live decadently
Yeah.
in your personal space, within your personal 3 feet
You're gonna
radius.
be like, ma'am, excuse me. And she will say you're excused.
And she'll say yes, and she'll lean closer.
But yeah, so she's like, you should open this present that you got. And so he does open the present, and lo and behold, it's a lovely cactus. Apparently a cactus that is just so lovely and so hypnotic that Mari has no choice but to try and slam her hand on it.
Ooh.
Remember
Just
2
goes
hours
for
ago when we referenced slamming your hand on cactus? There you go.
We
have
finally
the
paid
joke.
it off.
The joke has been explained.
It only took us 2 hours.
I think that's a new record.
Yeah, new record. Hey, at least we explained a joke for once. Instead of just making reference to bullshit and then being like, they'll know what it is.
Payoff.
You know,
yeah,
you know.
If you know, you know.
If you touch its thorns, you'll die.
Yeah, so she for whatever reason, she tries to slam her hand on the thorns. He's like, no, don't do that. If you touch those thorns, you'll die. And she's like, really? And he's like, yeah, watch this. And he just kind of yeets the cactus out the window where it hits the ground and explodes.
There's like chunks of debris flying
I
everywhere.
love the
It's
optics
so
of this
good.
scene because based off of everything we've seen from the interior of this dude's home, he lives in like an apartment complex or something.
Right?
Just chucks
Yeah.
in the backyard. Boom.
Landlord's going to have a
for
day
sure.
with this
He's going to
one.
get so many complaints about an explosion. So they determined that the gift is an exploding cactus, and Mari comments on how she'd seen one of those before, and Hayato's like, "Hey, what fucking where?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, someone dropped one off at the Moto Club as I was leaving," and so obviously they got to get there quick. Where shenanigans are ensuing with the other cactus because nobody takes gifts or cacti seriously in this episode.
Yeah, nobody does. But in Tachibana's defense, at the very least, he was not up
Yeah.
and ready yet this morning.
Poor Tachibana.
And they just opened his shit for him.
Like that was definitely his. That was just a crime. What they did. You're not allowed to open other
Start
people's
partying with the cactus.
And then yeah. So it's Shiro and it's Yuri and Michi are the other two, right?
Yes, Yuri Michi and Ruriko's
Yeah, and Ruriko, friends.
friend. I think her name is Hiromi. We should probably commit that to memory, but until then.
So hold on, let me just look at this picture and make sure this is... Yeah, okay, Ruriko friend is in fact Hiromi Nahara. So everybody, let's try and remember that one. Hiromi Nahara.
I mean, she's going to be appearing
Hiromi,
more, so we
Hiromi,
might as
Hiromi.
well.
And that's the last episode she appears in.
Yeah, no.
No, it looks like she's got a couple more appearances. According to this, the last episode she appears in is episode 34. So we get a bit more.
That's
Wow. Lots of heroes.
Oh no.
And then she goes to fight Shark.
Yeah, and then she's going to be sent to the South African branch. So yeah, so Shiro and the crew open this package that came for Tachibana. They see that it's a cactus, and I guess the point the issue is that Michi and Yuri are not getting trained like they wanted to. I don't quite remember this conversation, so I don't remember why, but the crux of it is eventually that Yuri, I believe, is the one. Who's the one that's the black belt? It is Yuri, right? Oh,
Yuri.
Yep. I just double-checked by looking at the actor's name.
Yes.
Yes, it's Yuri. Yuri, for whatever reason, just picks up this cactus and yeets it on the ground. Just...
If I recall correctly, the conversation essentially went, Ishida was like, "Oh, look at this present for the chairman," and he does complain about how no one here really knows how to drive. And like you said, Yuri and Michi are complaining they don't know how to drive, and they're like, "Teach us, we want to learn." And Shiro kind of is like, still just ogling this cactus, and he's like, "Wow, it's amazing." And Yuri just wants him to stop, so she just chucks it across the
She's
room.
like, it's just a cactus.
She picks it up with her bare hands, and she
eats
throws it.
Luckily, Hayato makes the save.
He dives.
Yeah,
in
he
and
dives
gets-
after this cactus, which makes sense because obviously, if it hit the ground, it would have just gone up.
I want the alternate cut.
Where the motocross club explodes and everyone dies in a fireball.
Yeah.
The image of just the shot cutting to outside of
Yep.
the place. It's really funny to me.
That's
some
fair.
Maybe because it's just a cactus, so it just feels like a comedy bit.
I mean, it basically is.
Yeah. Anyway, so Hayato prevents the cactus bomb from going off, and with additional testimony from a very sleepy Tachibana, because he lives at the motocross club.
He's brushing his teeth still.
Remodeled his
What's going
house
on
and
out
then
here?
turned the cafe into a motocross club. That's my hypothesis.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Only
He's just living. He lived at Snack Amigo.
Oh, that's fair.
But then he was just remodeling his house, so he's like, might as well remodel my business too.
he's got it all paid off. He can do whatever he wants with this building. He's not gonna get another building.
I mean, it's not that unusual to have the kind of buildings that are businesses on the first floor and apartments on the second.
This is entirely true.
Except I don't think this one has a second floor. I think he just sleeps in the back.
Okay, good point.
But he's got a room there.
It's real nice. Anyway, so Hayato and Tachibana let everybody know that the cactus is a bomb, and then Hayato asks, "Hey, who's the person who delivered this thing here anyway?" To which Michi and Yuri point out this real suspicious looking dude who's just been hanging out front the whole time.
I just wanted to make sure.
I just wanted to. The boss is gonna have my ass if that cactus doesn't go off. And he starts driving away. It's just so. It's just such a silly cut of Hayato being like, "Who delivered this?" And then we cut to the guy who delivered this running away. Like, bro, you should have been gone.
Shit. I gotta get out of here.
No.
And one would think in this sequence, when someone goes like, "We gotta go after him," that this would be Hayato. Giving chase on his motorbike.
But no, as we alluded to earlier in their initial introduction, the Kamen Rider girls, some of them might be filled with a lot of regular lust, but others of them are also filled with just a little bloodlust, because Mari and Michi just hop on a bike and go after this dude.
And they blow up on a cactus.
Yes, they do.
They drive to the designated fight scene and then proceed to get the old cactus banana peel.
That I mean, that's really not an unapt way to refer
that's...
to it. Yeah, so they get the cactus banana peel, and they get assaulted by shocker goons, but they kind of sort of hold them off. Mari sort of holds them off, and Michi tries to help.
Mari grabs a stick and proves that she was not bullshitting about her fencing ability as she fends off multiple shocker goons with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly closing in on them and have them outmatched to a degree, but she is holding
keeping them at bay
fast
at the very
and
least,
not backing down.
I also appreciate watching the fight scene now. That as she fights, someone or one of the shocker goons kind of goes in, and so she just hops backwards a little bit, got some footwork going.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I mean, again, just proving that she wasn't bluffing when she said, "Oh, I've got fencing experience." I'd be interested to see if this comes into play in future episodes where maybe she teaches Hayato to fence or something. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
But yeah, so after a while, as straits are starting to get dire and it seems like maybe Michi and Mari aren't going to make it out after all, well, who should arrive but the Kamen Rider? Who's here to do the actual fight scene now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any real major points from this fight scene, but the only one I can really think of is the thing that happens towards the end with the guy they take hostage.
So I can think of one thing. It's not necessarily the fight scene yet, but I just found it really amusing that when Hayato first arrives on the scene, he is not yet transformed, and they have this weird set of cuts where they first show that he arrives and he's just gazing out at the fight, and it almost looks like he's just watching Mari and Michi struggle for a bit before he decides he's going to transform and help.
It's very him sitting there being like, whoa, let's see if they can do it.
Let's see how this plays out.
Maybe
Should I take a picture of these plants behind me?
Not them, of course.
I don't take pictures of girls, no.
This plant, though? I mean, well, I've got a minute.
It's pretty good.
Mari Michi, you got this, right?
The lighting?
Sure
I must capture you.
Saying real creepy shit to plants.
You can be creepy to plants, it's fine.
I said that to my dog once.
How did your dog react?
And then she kept lying down, and then I went to take a really good picture of her.
Good dog.
Good dog.
Beautiful.
Take more pictures of your dog. Thank you.
You're giving me everything I want.
Truly she did that day. It was an amazing shot. It looked like a Renaissance painting. But I digress.
Oh.
Good job, Shakes' dog. So yeah, we have ourselves a merry little fight scene. That ends differently than I expected. So Shocker, Kamen Rider sees the original Shocker guy they were chasing try to drive off, and he jumps onto his bike behind him and gets him all locked up and is trying to get him to talk.
Yeah.
And then from out of nowhere, one of those Sabotegron cactus bombs comes flying in, and we see Kamen Rider jump with the Shocker guy. I thought he was going to use the Shocker dude as a human shield, and that man was about to explode.
That's what Hongo
That is absolutely what Hongo would have done. I don't even think Hongo would have jumped with him. I think he would have just pushed the dude at the bomb.
No.
No, he would have just
held him out with
just football thrown the guy into the bomb.
One arm toss.
But
pieces.
But no, so he jumps with the guy, helping them both successfully avoid the bomb that blows up the Shocker dude's bike. And I think we just cut straight back to the motocross club from there, yes?
Yeah.
After Hayato shows up, gives a little warning to Mari and Michi and is like, let this be a lesson to not rushing blindly. And Mari is just going nuts with her face. She's just back to her other type of lust.
She's like, well, I got enough blood. Would you like to...
I believe how this move went was he jumped from the explosion while holding him while still Kamen Rider, and landed behind them as Hayato, still holding the guy in a chokehold.
Impressive, really.
I know, it was just like, whoa, this guy's got style.
He's got panache. He is chock full of panache, in fact.
But yes, we go from Mari's lustful gaze.
We're going to be going from Mari's lustful gaze quite a bit, don't you worry.
Yeah, and we go to the poutiest
So
shocker
fucking
minion.
mad. He's so fucking mad. Yeah. I was gonna say, like textbook no talk me Anki.
They just have him tied up in the back, and he's just
fucking
like,
stone faced. He's so mad.
It's gonna be one weekend, so ruined.
And
Shiro, for whatever reason, is our
he's
interrogator
not really
at the
even
moment.
interrogating. He's just commenting on how creepy this dude is.
I think, does Tachibana explain about
Yes.
this guy?
Does he?
Yeah, he explains that this is a new breed.
Oh
of
yes,
shocker
Tachibana
minion,
does. Yeah, he's like, well,
because too many of them were squealing.
yeah. He says that this is a cyborg combatant, and that he's probably programmed not to speak, which I felt like was them trying to explain the thing that the shocker minions do, and I was like, hey, sure.
Oh yeah, for that noise, they all make a unified noise as far as we can tell so far. It's just the it's just pretty standard now.
Yeah, I think that's going to just be the noise going forward, especially because Sabotegron, we haven't really mentioned this, but Sabotegron is the kind of guy who thinks just about damn near anything and everything is funny. Because this dude laughs constantly, and that is how he laughs, using that noise. And they play that audio file so many goddamn times in these 2 episodes.
Making use of every second, every cent we
E.
paid people to make that noise, every E.
Oh god, it's just I like that has become our unified noise now as well, because it means every time I think of it, I get to think of my good boy Gekagaras and the fun night he had at the park.
And with his fun little ray gun and slide.
So yeah, Shiro is commenting on how weird and creepy this shocker guy is and why he won't talk, and he gets the rundown on Tachibana, and then Tachibana says, hey, you stand here and fucking stand watch, be the guardsman for this shocker guy. I'm gonna go oh wait,
do whatever.
no. So he says he's gonna go catch up with Hayato. The reason I waited
Okay.
is because I almost forgot about the conversation we have here. Because Tachibana is explaining.
Oh yes.
Tachibana explains about how they're turning people into cyborg combatants, and she was like, "Gosh, that's creepy. You think if Shocker controls the whole world, they'll do that to everybody?" And Tachibana's response to that is something along the lines of, well, you're pretty much worthless, so I guess they turned you into a cyborg janitor.
Boom!
And fucking just blown
Jeez,
the fuck out.
completely out of nowhere. Why? What did he
I
do?
don't know why.
There's some very old tea that has been fermenting.
Yeah.
Sitting for a long
It's got
time.
funky.
And Tachibana just spilled it. It's
and Shiro just
yeah. He's like, hey, I'm not
he
worthless.
just
Yeah.
takes it.
It is this.
Yeah, he has a weak defense, but he's got
Yeah,
nothing.
I almost wonder if Tachibana doesn't just bully Shiro because he can. because he knows that like Shiro will just
There's
eat
a
it.
pecking order here.
Because you can't
I was saying there's
you can't pull that shit to fucking Takeshi Hongo. He'll eat you.
Probably literally.
Yeah, he will just eviscerate your shit. You'll be like, Hongo, I think actually you aren't that good at motorcycles. And then the next thing you know, your guts will be outside of your body. And you'll be wondering what you did to make these sorts of decisions in your life. But yeah, so
what's our guy? God, what's our guy? Our FBI guy.
Taki.
I've already forgot his name.
Taki?
Man, why's everybody got fucking T names?
yeah, it's a lot of. I mean, we could always go with his
Don't like
Taki.
last name, his first name, Kazuya.
It's. I got nothing. But I didn't remember that either. There's a pecking order that's so funny to me because Tachibana gets his moments where he can just bully the shit out of Shiro. But once Tachibana is with Taki,
he is the Shiro in that situation.
The joke. He is the joke. He has to get his kicks with Shiro because he's not allowed to get them anywhere else.
Tachibana has to have all of his squash matches be against Shiro because anytime he wrestles fucking Taki, he has the job. What a guy.
What a guy. He still kicks ass though. Like he still squares up and fights, but as when it's adventuring time, he's gonna bumble a little.
And you know what? That's okay because he's not even he's not an adventurer. This is not what he got signed on for. He's a fucking motocross instructor, and he's been more of a ride or die than a lot of these other people.
Truly.
But yeah, so after dunking Shiro straight in the garbage, Tachibana's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go catch up with Hayato. You go, you keep watch on the shocker guy." And we get a fun little scene here where the door starts opening for whatever reason, and Paul with Shiro, he's just a little creature. Quaking in his
just a level. What? Just a level 1
He will not drop good items. Please don't swing your big cactus sword at me. So yeah, the door starts opening and poor Shiro starts freaking out because he thinks he's gonna get cyborg janitorified. When in fact, actually, it's just Mari and the girls. I want to say they don't bring the kid, do they? It is just the 3 girls.
No, we haven't seen the kid since.
Yeah, we haven't seen the kid again since episode 14. Will he come back? Who knows?
Who can say?
Yeah, hard to say. But yeah, so the girls come in and they're like, "Shiro, what's got you so scared? What are you, what's an empowered king like you doing, shaking in your boots?"
I'm just like Major Spook here.
That was stellar.
Because let's be real,
Yeah,
that's what Shiro.
Shiro's absolutely our Shaggy.
Yeah.
Except he gets picked on a little more.
We truly have the whole Scooby-Doo gang now with this gang of teens.
Much.
Except it's just one dude and a bunch of ladies, which is superior now. I guess is their little brother
and
Scooby?
the girl bosses. I don't know. Maybe he's scrappy.
Kinda.
Yeah,
so
a little
far,
bit.
yeah. Hold my banana, Pops.
Yeah, he's scrappy.
So the girls come in and they're like, "Don't worry, Shiro, you've got nothing to be scared about. We'll help you. We'll help you guard this shocker grunt." And what unfortunate timing that they say that with, because they immediately get attacked by Sabotegron. Dude just busts out the floor.
How y'all doing?
We get a great scene of everyone stacked up, and Sabotegron starts advancing towards them, and Shiro just drops.
Yeah.
Yep. On the spot.
Which, like, hey, you know what? I don't blame you, dude. But yeah, so Shiro goes down. Marius tries to stand up for a bit, and then she goes down. Michi tries to go stand up for a bit, and then she goes down. And then Yuri gets into the battle stance. She's like, "I'm not fucking scared of you. I've never been afraid of a cactus. Post up, motherfucker." Except for the fact that she lied. She gets scared and she calls for her mom and
she lists a few actually. She calls for her fucking mom. That's really the most shameful part, and I just feel so bad for this character. They had to do her dirty like that. You could have just had her faint. They didn't give her a single shred of dignity.
Calls for her mom, drops, and then Sabotegron slunks over to the soccer grunt and is like, hey, I need you to understand something right now. You fucked up. According to Shocker Law, your ass should be grass, but we're fucking understaffed, so you get another chance. Now come on, asshole, let's go.
Just straight up is just like, I should kill you, but we really don't have the resources for this shit anymore.
Not kidding, that is straight up the reasoning. It's just, we need as many hands on deck for Operation Z as possible, so you get another chance.
Congratulations, let's go,
It's
idiot.
fucking amazing.
And
Speaking of idiocy.
Oh gosh.
God.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this coming scene. Yeah.
Just this, this coming scene. I think Shakes was the first one to say it, but I think we all agreed. I think it would be best said after the synopsis, though.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but the next scene is Taki sneaking into the base, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. So
there's some shit
the scene.
here.
God. The scene opens up with his first, I guess, approach, which is what he does is he attaches himself to the bottom of some Shocker agent's car.
I do want to touch on the Shocker car very quickly because that also gets us the Shocker checkpoint.
Yes. God, the Shocker checkpoint.
Yeah, it's just 3 Shocker goons, 2 of them that have like pole arms, standing near the gate, and when they see a car drive up, they make like a person barrier, and then the Shocker commander who's in that, or the Shocker like commando who's in that group, goes to the window, is like, "Let me see your permit." And one of the guys just holds this triangle piece of paper that's got some Shocker stuff on it. And then the Shocker commander's like, "All right, you can go through." Yeah,
all right, you're good.
So what happened during that scene when these Shocker grunts are going through the checkpoint? So clearly they had the identification and their car passed right on through. So Taki's in, right? No. He decided during that time that he would get off of the car.
Yep,
and
he gets
leave.
off the car. He sneaks around like the post. I'm only willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in saying that, like, I can recognize why he wouldn't necessarily want to try and go in through the front entrance. So, like, I could see wanting to look for a back way, but I would also probably still keep clinging to the car until I was at least past the gate. I don't know, maybe security is a little too, like, a little too tight.
I don't know. Yeah, I can only think they thought they might do more thorough car checks or something. And who's to
and
say
to be
they
fair,
didn't,
that this is probably also
the show that didn't
based
show
off
it.
of like based off of what we've seen in the previous episode. That might also just be him going straight into the area that's got all the fucking Mexican flowers, or all the cactus flowers. So like, you know, if we can find a back way that has less exploding cacti in it, let's go that way.
It's true.
So the back way he doth intend to take, which leads to him coming up to a gate, but it's a barbed wire fence, unfortunately, and it's not just any kind of barbed wire fence, as...
It's one that he can fit through easily.
Well, it is. Were it not for the fact that Taki, being averager than the smartest bear, as we like to say in my family, he goes to put a hand on the gate, notices the barbed wire, doesn't put his hand on it, goes, "Well, hold on, let me think about something here." takes a couple of paces back, picks up a rock, yeets it at the gate, rock explodes. So he's like, all right, I am going to have to take the long way in. and boy, would we say the fucking long way.
He goes, like, around the country.
It seems like it.
Like, where the checkpoint is, if you look into the horizon, you just see mountain ranges.
I don't know how he reached the sea.
And then he reaches the sea.
Yeah, he's on this, like, cliff face.
It's so wonderful.
Like, sheer drop into the ocean, too. It's very perilous looking. It's a great set piece. But also Shiro or Taki.
It was just over the horizon, I guess.
I don't know. But yeah, so after taking the longest possible way in, Taki is able to get in, where he successfully finds a way to sneak into the base by beating up a couple of Shocker minions and doing the old costume switcheroo, which I really appreciate. I appreciate the concept of him doing it a lot, but really what I appreciate is the shot of him dressed as a soccer goon, just kind of waltzing into the Shocker base.
He's got such a strut.
He's just got the most confident strut.
Just a man who is supposed to be here. It's a very fun visual. And he's in. This is my problem with this next part. He's in. He's done what he needs to do. And then he goes and he fucks it up. So he gets into the base, and then from into the base he gets into the room where Sabotegron is explaining the whole Operation Z plan.
We're talking war strategy. Like, he's got a full plan of just what they're gonna do, where they're gonna strike, how they're gonna, like, utilize these strikes to then do their ultimate goal. Like, they got this set. This is really, like, new for. It's like they actually have a competent diagram of their master plan.
Again, more
and,
proof
like,
that all
he's getting in on
Sabotegron is kind of the best of Shocker's commanders.
He's up there.
And Taki is just here, and he's just listening to this.
Yeah, he just takes the seat.
Yeah, he just pops a squat, and he gets to listen to the whole plan. And then he has to ruin it by asking a goddamn question. Why? Why in this situation?
What he could have really sussed out on his own.
Because they're talking about...
Because they're
playing... Shakes, I'll let you take it.
No, I don't... Okay, I think the main crux of the plan is to blow up a dam, like they did in Mexico. They're gonna blow up a dam. They're gonna cut off the reserves of a town downstream or upstream.
I think it was downstream.
I don't know, downstream. And cut off their reserves, no power or water for them, and then they're gonna move in on that weakened town, establish a foothold, and be able to proceed onward.
It's a very solid plan.
Yeah, solid tactics. This dumbass.
There's one part of this plan that Taki can't got into. I'll fucking.
They're gonna blow up the dam. Why is he? Okay, he has witnessed the cactus. This man has witnessed the explosives. He asks, "How are you going to blow up the dam? With what equipment are you going to blow up the dam?"
He could have phrased it to have been a more intelligible question, but he really didn't. Like, he could have been like, have we secured the supplies that we need to do this plan? Or, remind me, when are we enacting this plan? Or, when do we move the supplies to the dam? Not, what bombs we use, Captain?
Yeah. So that's the first, but that's not even where the mistake comes in, because the mistake was speaking up in the first place.
First of all, that was the mistake.
Because he's not wearing the right clothes.
FBI agent, incredible.
I guess I put on the wrong uniform.
He did not play Metal Gear Solid 2. He put on the Shell A. He put on the Shell A outfit in Shell B, and he paid for it.
Talkie?
I just can't help but think
Talkie!
I just can't help but think if he was going to blow his cover anyway, might as well have asked a good question because Sabotegron did answer his question. He didn't call him out for being misplaced until after he answered the question. He squandered every opportunity.
I mean, like, why?
Is immediately.
Why would you even speak up in that situation? But of all of the things to ask, fucking, how we gonna blow it up there, boss? And then.
Maybe with the bombs that I specialize in making, you idiot.
Who are you? Who is your commander? Wait, why are you here? It was just the worst situation to be in.
He doesn't play it off whatsoever. When he's called out for being out of uniform, he immediately rips his mask off and is like, damn you, Kamen.
I think it's important to note that he's not called out for being out of uniform. He goes, hey, wait a minute. You're like a guardsman or like a command unit or whatever. What are you doing in this meeting?
Yes.
And Taki's response
sorry, that's
to
all
that
I meant.
is,
That he was in
I
the
guess
wrong
I must
outfit.
have put the wrong uniform on. And Sabotegron's like, you're not supposed to be in here. Get this dude. And then Taki's like, well, I guess the jig is up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Never mind. Sabotegron is actually the one who specifically asks for Taki to be unmasked. So I think Sabotegron probably just had an idea.
Yeah. He's just like, no, take off your mask. I better see this shit.
Espionage master, FBI agent.
Yeah.
But then we get to immediately see who does it right.
So Taki is being taken to the Shocker prison by the Shocker guards.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I just wanted to outline before this sequence. He is now taken prisoner. A good plan is now a better plan. Because now Shocker's like, oh shit, we have a prisoner. For some reason, we didn't take any prisoners when we ambushed that one house and they all fainted. First weird thing. But now we have a valuable prisoner.
Yes, that's...
We are going to take this prisoner somewhere else or here, or just keep him here for now. Lure the Kamen Rider with him while we enact our plan. So he will not be able to stop us because he's distracted with the prisoner.
This is correct. Because initially Sabotegron's like, fucking just kill this guy. And then Fascist Statue speaks up and is like, no, don't kill him. Put him in the prison.
We can use this.
And occasionally the fascist statue does have good ideas.
They're increasingly better ideas, and it would have been the perfect plan.
Except that as our friend Taki is being led to the prison, right? The two Shocker commando guys who are leading him to the prison, they get him there. They they do the proper salute to the guy who is manning the guards, manning the little prison. He opens the door, he gets the key, opens the door, and gets kicked into the prison alongside the other commando dude. And then it's revealed who was this first commando and why is he double-crossing his other two fellow Shocker agents? Because it's fucking Kamen Rider. Because it was just Hayato the whole time, and he didn't speak up until fucking Taki.
It is worth noting that it is not Hayata, or it is Hayata, but it's not like he's not in his
it's not
everyday
Hayato,
getup.
It's specifically Kamen Rider. He is already transformed.
Transformed Kamen Rider.
He doesn't even need wind powers. He just does it.
What a guy.
He pre-transformed and conserved his energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
he just went in there. It would have been the perfect plan. Except Kamen Rider was already in here and fucking all your shit up. Nobody counted on this.
No, somehow no one counted on this.
Oh man.
So now it's time for Kamen Rider to do what Kamen Rider does best in a Shocker base, and that's fuck shit up. Luckily Kamen Rider has been in this place so long that he knows exactly where some of the cactus bombs are being grown. So he starts breaking open a wall so that Taki can get access to that place, so we can start collecting some cactus bombs. We have a quick little fight in the hallway that's got some neat camera stuff. We do some pole vaulting stuff. It's nice.
Good stunts, good choreography. What you'd expect.
And now it's time for Kamen Rider to get down to business. And what's business? Well, business is real simple. Business is... it's killing Nazis. Business in this instance is opening a door into a room in the Shocker base where a bunch of Nazis are doing Nazi shit, throwing the cactus bomb in there and closing the fucking door.
We're talking rooms filled with 3 to 4 each.
And he does this, 4 times?
And he does at least 4 rooms doing this.
Yeah.
Just
annihilating this place.
Over and over. We got the map room.
Yeah, we got customer room, support.
We got everything. Just some bugs, probably. Just whatever,
salting the earth, really.
He got his kill robbed from him last episode. He didn't get the chance to kill anybody in the previous episode, and he made up for it tenfold.
So we know he takes after Hongo in one way at least, because if he notices himself falling behind on kills, boy does he make a point to go catch up.
Look forward to those numbers next episode.
Yeah. I do feel a little sorry for B, though, because some of those shots, looking back at them, are not necessarily clear on how many people are in those rooms.
I will do my best.
Good luck.
Yeah, we can only provide estimates because we have to assume certain things as well when people are dead.
As always, I apologize for any inaccuracies.
But also, don't yell at B if they get something wrong, because this is a service we are providing you for free.
Yell at me. Do it.
All
Don't be a coward.
Don't be a coward.
Yeah.
Pistols are done.
Yell at me. Tell me what you think.
I think you're lovely!
And then I'll reply, okay.
There.
I'll say okay or so, question mark?
If you get a so, dead. Onion rings.
Done.
Unless you have valid criticism.
In which case, please tweet us on our Twitter, or comment on the YouTube, or comment on the SoundCloud, because you can do that too.
You
I'd
can?
love to hear from you.
Talk to us about our podcast, but through the official channels. It's a good time. You'll love it. Anyway, what I love is a death match in the cactus room, and that's what we get next.
Deathmatch in a Cactus Room is also my new math rock indie band.
It's
as well it should be.
That's pretty good. It's really funny because while they laid out their master plan and I complimented it so much, this entire fight scene completely obliterates it. They never even get a chance to begin to enact this plan. Kamen Rider is there and he's putting a stop. Hard breaks.
Once Kamen Rider is involved, any plans that you may have had are fucking SOL. You Dunyan rings, son.
No more boats blowing up for Kamen Rider. Can't let that happen again.
I tarnished my record once, never again. I swore on Dummy's grave. Never again.
Never again.
And, Sabotegron comes in, and he's got 3 cactus bombs strapped to his shoulder, for ammo, I guess, in the throw.
He's just got 2 cactus bombs on his titties.
It's a suicide bomb situation. He does just have cactus bomb titties.
It's so silly.
They're jiggling around and everything.
But it's a pretty standard fight other than that until Hayato Kamen Rider jumps through the bubble wrap again.
Wrap ceiling.
And which makes a return, and I'm
so
happy about that. And then Sabotegron just trips.
Does he just
and
trip?
He blows up. Yeah.
I think he's charging him. And
he charges
him.
He charges him. Kamen Rider does the Kamen Rider jump. Sabotegron goes a little too far, trips on a rock, and just explodes.
Oh my god.
He trips. He has bombs attached to him in a room full of bombs. It is a greenery of cactus bombs,
and the whole thing goes up.
Like they did.
That model gets obliterated.
That is a very good shot. So something that we haven't actually really commented on is that Shocker's base is actually pretty conspicuous in this one, because there's like a big fucking eagle statue or something that the base is inside, is like underneath, and there are like pyramids and shit.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but so the way that they show us in this episode that Sabotegron has been defeated and that the fascist place has been destroyed. I'm sorry, the Shocker base. I mean, I know those words are interchangeable, but eventually they may not be quite so usable. But yeah, the way they show us that the Shocker base gets destroyed is it just kind of zooms out to the model of the like big Phoenix or the big Eagle building, and that model just explodes, and it's a great effect.
Just big bang and lots of black smoke.
It is good shit.
Wonderful.
Probably mixing with the dust of the model too. Just
Quality.
It's obliterated.
And how else to end this episode as Taki and Kamen Rider are both, they're both escaping. And Kamen Rider takes his bike and leaves Taki.
Just kind of waves goodbye to Taki. Taki waves goodbye to Kamen Rider, and Kamen Rider fucks off.
Still got no car.
Yeah, and Taki's just left there.
Gonna call my wife.
Call your wife, Taki, you dickhead. Come pick you up.
Honey, it happened again.
Yeah.
Kamen Rider left me in the fucking battlefield again. I gotta.
Can you call me an Uber?
What a good set of episodes.
Yeah, very quality, especially for the introduction of a new Kamen Rider. Sometimes that can be a little rocky because they've got a lot of stuff that they've got to introduce. First episode of a Kamen Rider series can be a bit rough, but this was good. This was real good.
I think the biggest mark on this set of episodes is there is a critical character that was not in it that we have not discussed yet.
I am
special effects
Oh,
pilot.
that's true.
I think our budget might be surpassing.
I don't think
for special effects plywood.
I think it is.
I don't think we rehired special effects plywood. I think special effects.
But
I think her contract
gonna
went
miss
out.
her a lot.
I think she's retired now.
I won't speak too soon. We never got any weird, unique death animations this time at all. So that's the big change, at least for now. We are just fully assuming any Shocker that got exploded is very dead, but they not a lot of disappearing corpses.
That is entirely true. Next episode or next set of episodes, they might just go fucking buck wild with the special effects plywood.
I certainly hope. And another thing that I've actually noticed, and it's still a bit early to say, but considering how they introduced Hongo, Hayata has no angst of being a cyborg.
Yeah, not really.
Because
he has like a tiny bit.
I think he does.
Just a tiny bit in that dream, after that dream sequence.
Well,
but
actually, I was going to point to why he doesn't, because he just wakes up and he's like, damn, they were going to make me a weapon to kill the Kamen Rider, but now I am.
You got to remember
Rider.
that very first line, though. Because the very first thing he says after he has that dream is like, I don't remember exactly what he says, but I definitely remember either the line or something to the effect of, I thought I had gotten over the fact that I'm a cyborg now, but I guess not quite.
Yeah.
It's like something to that effect, but he does comment on
and something about leaving his normal life.
He does comment on the fact that he has
Okay,
expected himself to be at a point where he wasn't like, concerned about the fact that he wasn't human anymore, and like that the fact that he has that dream sort of being proof that he's still got some hang-ups about it.
I had sort of interpreted it as he has sort of similar issues to Hongo, but taken almost an opposite approach to it, wherein Hongo was immediately repulsed by being a cyborg and is trying desperately to, seek instances of humanity within himself remaining because he's struggling with his own identity, not really congruing with his new cyborg body. It almost seems like Hayato sort of realized he is a cyborg freak and he is not normal, and he sort of felt resigned to that fate until Hongo came and saved him, and then he was like, I don't have to be a cyborg freak. I can try to seek my humanity the way that Hongo does. I'm making, like, not to say that necessarily, like, the parallel is an actual connection between the two necessarily, but I just think it's an interesting, dynamic.
And maybe with a dash of him kind of taking a new lease on life. It's a little of that attitude, maybe. Because we don't have a lot of pre-established stuff with Hayato is the thing. We only know why he was captured and otherwise. So I guess he doesn't have that backloaded humanity to comment on as much, at least for the audience. So it's kind of just like, well, I guess this is life now. So I'm gonna do what's right with it.
I could definitely see
Hopefully.
that. So I wanted to go back to check exactly what he says. And after waking up, the exact line is, "That's no good. I thought I'd given up on being anything but a cyborg now." Is specifically what he says after waking up.
So he's trying to sort of have that mentality. But, you keep remembering, there was life before.
I just think it'll be, if they continue in this direction, I think it would be a very interesting dynamic of, like, when Hongo comes back later in the season.
Because Hongo definitely...
and to see if any of that kind of interacts with one another for character kind of drama or what.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see how their two personal philosophies about the situation kind of affect each other. Because, obviously there's so much angst on Hongo's end about what he is and what he has become now. Almost to the point where it almost feels like it is one of the main driving factors as to why he does what he does as Kamen Rider. It's kind of one of those, they made me a monster. They've turned me into a freak. I don't want that to ever happen to anyone else. And meanwhile, we've got Hayato who's kind of just like, I'm, all right, I used to be a dude. I'm a cyborg now. Obviously, it's not ideal, but I'm going to try and make the best out of it. I'm going to try and do what I can. And that's going to include helping people by saving them from this evil organization. So it would be really interesting to see how they would change once their philosophies kind of rub up against each other.
Oh my god, you're right. It's Batman and Dick Grayson.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they also have very complementary personalities in the way that they could bounce off of each other, but also would make for good drama down the line as well, of just like they handle things very differently as in person, and as Kamen Rider it's kind of it's very similar, but as people, their personalities scrape against each other, and that's fun to think about. That's fun to look forward to.
I mean that's one of the things that's always really nice about the series, where you have multiple Kamen Riders, especially when they are established early on, is just kind of seeing or thinking about what it's going to be like when those two different Promeniter types and those different personalities rub up against each other.
I'm really excited to see it.
Truly, we get ahead of ourselves.
God, do we get ahead of ourselves?
But that's more of a good getting ahead of yourselves, at least I think.
We can never stop.
It's not like we jumped to the third episode we would talk about instead of talking about the first one or the introduction. It's not. I wouldn't know what that
we would
feels
never
like.
do
at
something
all.
like that.
Never.
We're
Well, I don't know
professionals.
about that one.
We've reached a new era with a brand new Kamen Rider, so we're
I'm glad. I'm glad you're all safe while I alone got hit by that bus. Wonderful.
Oh.
But yes, brand new Kamen Rider. Very, very
we
exciting.
hope that you are all as excited as we are. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. We hope that you look forward to future episodes. I imagine, and I just kind of had this thought, and I hadn't brought it up with you guys yet, but I imagine probably what we will do now, especially seeing that this episode is not significantly shorter than our normal episode offerings, is
It actually
Is it?
is. Well, there's a
okay.
45
That still
minute
puts
break.
us at 3 hours even.
Yeah, that's like an
I guess
hour and a
that's
half
fair.
shorter. Or an hour
The-
shorter, but
we can save that discussion.
Yeah,
But
the
that's
longer the
later.
skinny
Yes,
of it is,
please.
we may end up putting like a poll up at some point in time for you the viewers to decide, like, hey, what do you like more? Do you want us talking about 3 episodes or 2 episodes? Are you okay with longer episodes? Do you maybe want them to get cut down? Those sorts of questions. So keep an eye out on the Twitter for that. Thank you so very much for joining us and enjoying the podcast. The fact that y'all have been sticking with us for 5 episodes when this one comes out is super awesome, and I can't wait to do the next one with all y'all. Does anybody have anything special they want to say before we go ahead and send it off?
gonna miss you, Takeshi Hongo.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Mm-hmm.
As remiss as I am to see Hongo go for so long, I don't want this to remotely dampen my experience of enjoying Hayato, and so far he's been wonderful.
Absolutely.
More than anything, I'm really looking forward to exploring Hayato and his dynamic as a Kamen Rider, and even more than that, I'm really excited to see them
that's gonna
together.
be the good stuff.
I'm so excited to see where this series goes.
I am too. I have to say that is kind of the cool thing about doing this in a very different way than I had initially intended, is having a series where I am just as in the dark about what's about to happen as you guys are. It's kind of interesting. But also, I'm very looking forward to when we do a series that I've already seen, and I get to just kind of sit and watch and be like, are y'all ready for this shit? Y'all ain't ready for this shit.
Dun, 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 dun.
Save the rain. Well, with that, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Longtime Watcher, First Time Writer. And remember, as always, friends, if you can't believe in God and you can't believe in Buddha, you can always believe in Kamen Rider.